An injury to an elbow on his throwing arm. The Blitz is next.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, my goodness, it is the Blitz, and it is Friday, and that's a good thing. Hi, everybody. Thanks for spending a part of your day with us here at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix, well, he's taking some time off for the holidays, so he bailed out early after yesterday's show out at Chicken and Pickle. He took a little bit of a hiatus, so we're going to get through this. Edwin Hafner is producing this glorious show today, so we'll get through because we got a lot to talk about today. Plenty to talk about, so much going on, and I don't know if you heard in SportsCenter, I am really excited that the college football playoffs are beginning. It begins tonight with Indiana and Notre Dame. And even though I don't give Indiana much of a shot against the Domers, it's going to be fun to watch. And I hope I'm dead wrong about that. Hope Indiana comes through. But we're going to be talking a lot about that. Danny Kanell is going to join us at about 3:30 today to talk a little college football playoff action, maybe some bowl action as well. And then tomorrow, what a day tomorrow. My goodness. This is like Christmas Eve for football fans. Because you got to wait, you get an appetizer tonight, and then tomorrow you got 3 more playoff games. You got 2 NFL games, 2 good ones, by the way. The Texans playing the Chiefs, and then, of course, you've got Baltimore and Pittsburgh as well. And, man, it's just going to be a fun weekend, and we're going to get you started here. I'm really excited about this guest coming up about 2:45. Now, UTSA is out in they're playing the Myrtle Beach Bowl, right? They play that on Monday. They're already out there, including UTSA Athletic Director Lisa Campos. She's going to join us at 2:45, and I'm anxious to talk to her because there's been a lot of talk about this whole revenue share thing, and I hope she has some clarification for us, exactly how that's all going to work, maybe what the university is going to commit to, especially the football program, and how all of that is going to take place. So Lisa Campos will join us coming up at 2:45, man, and I'm looking forward to talking to her and hopefully getting some answers, some clarity on where they're at and what everything means. But I got to tell you something. You know, it is Christmas, right? December 20th. We are close. Next week is Christmas and Christmas week and all of that stuff. And I hope everybody's got all their shopping done. I hope you're not like me, because I'm one of those guys that waits till the last minute. It's almost become a Reinagel tradition, at least this Reinagel, my tradition, to be in the mall or somewhere on Christmas Eve. It just it has to happen. I don't feel like it's Christmas if I'm not walking around somewhere buying some last-minute gifts on Christmas Eve. But a lot of my colleagues here at San Antonio Sports Star and Alpha Media are they're already in the Christmas spirit, apparently. Because I walked in the office today, and all the lights are off, and there's nobody here. It's like a ghost town around this place. Edwin's sitting in here all by himself in his glass box of fun. So I had to come in here, and he was all by himself. And I'll be honest with you, you walk in here, and it's a little spooky. It really is a little spooky. You walk in, it's like nobody here. All the offices are closed. Everything's done. So everybody here, other than me and Edwin, are in the Christmas spirit and have already gone and doing their thing. So we'll get through. And hopefully, Edwin, you and I can keep each other company, and we won't get too scared as we creep down the hallways and do our thing. Because it's a little creepy out there, isn't it?
The other people are slacking.
They're slacking, right? Already in the Christmas spirit, and they got us here.
We both worked the full week.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, but that's all right. We'll get it done. I love this time of year, though, and that's the beauty of it, because this time of year is the greatest time of year. Not first and foremost, it's Christmas season, and I love this time of year, Christmas. Everybody seems a little happier, even though the traffic sucks today. Have you noticed that? I'm driving over here, and the traffic just sucks, so I guess everybody's out either getting some last-minute Christmas shopping done or working. Maybe this is your final day of work, if that's it for a week or so, and congratulations to you if that is the case. But, man, traffic was bad today. I've never seen it that bad because I'll be honest with you, and I shouldn't tell you this because I don't want to give the secret away, although I think a lot of the secret is already given away. Yeah, that Wurzbach Parkway thing. Well, I take that to work. I get on that thing and I bring it all the way down to Perrin Beidel and get off on Perrin Beidel and come to the radio station. We're out here on by Eisenhower in 35. And it's always good to go because it really doesn't matter what time of day it is. The traffic's not bad. It's not, at all. You really don't have any traffic issues. Today I did. It was like that. It was nuts. And I'm coming up Military Drive, and the traffic on Military was crazy. Perrin Beidel, it was crazy. I don't know what's going on around here. Everybody out and about, getting stuff done in the Christmas spirit, so that's okay. But if you're taking some time off, congratulations. Thanks again for listening to us here. If you got anything to say, you want to chime in, if you're watching on YouTube, you can do it there. You can tweet at me, at Joe Reinagel 210. And, of course, you can always call in and talk to Edwin and me and everybody else that's listening to the show. 656-ESPN, 656-377. What is the number, Edwin? I never give it out because Minix always – 3776?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can call there, too. And we appreciate you, again, spending some time with us today. How many of you watched that football game last night between the Chargers and the Broncos and learned about a rule that you had no clue about? I did. I got to be totally honest with you. I forgot all about that free kick rule after a fair catch. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was right before halftime, and the Broncos punted. There was like 8 seconds left to go in the game, the half, and there was fair catch interference, 15-yard penalty, and so Jim Harbaugh takes the penalty, and you have an option there to take a free kick. You can try to kick a field goal, and that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. I had no clue that was done. Now keep in mind that hasn't been done since 1976. Jim Harbaugh knew about that rule. I don't think anybody else did. Nobody did. I certainly didn't. I'm going, what the hell's going on here? This is crazy because they line up like they're kicking off. Although there was a holder for Cameron Dicker, and he nailed it. And it made it a 21-13 game instead of 21-10 going into the halftime locker room. And if you watch the game, after that, it was all Chargers. You know what I love the best about that? I got to be totally honest with you. And it's one reason why I'm in a great mood today. First of all, I had the Chargers last night, so I won that bet, and I'm very happy about that. Secondly, though, it was so much fun in that second half to watch Jim Harbaugh completely outcoach the great Sean Payton. It was so much fun that Sean Payton had no answer for what the Chargers were doing in the second half. No answer at all. The adjustments that Harbaugh made in the halftime locker room had the great quarterback whisperer Sean Payton confused. He didn't know what to do. He was a total mess in the second half, and it was so much fun to watch. I loved it. Lots of things that I loved about it. Again, won some money, but the cherry on top was watching the great Sean Payton completely get outcoached by Jim Harbaugh. Now, I'm not necessarily a huge Jim Harbaugh fan, but I certainly like him a hell of a lot better than I do Sean Payton. I think Payton's a little overrated, although he has done a good job with that Denver Broncos team. I did enjoy watching Bo Nix play football in the first half. He looked good. Justin Herbert, though, he looked great in the second half. And I think that game is a little more one-sided than a 7-point finish. Had Herbert not thrown a really boneheaded interception down by the goal line. But it was so much fun to watch Sean Payton just simply get outclassed, outcoached, and beat by Jim Harbaugh last night. It was fantastic. You know what else was fantastic last night? Your San Antonio Spurs and one Victor Wembanyama. That guy was incredible. He took over the fourth quarter last night. That game goes into overtime with Atlanta, and Wemby was just sensational. Sensational. And I love what Mitch Johnson did. That whole experiment with Devin Vassell coming off the bench, I think, is over now. Nothing against Steph Castle, but I bring him off the bench. I think that's good. Vassell, and I have to admit it, Sohan and Wemby look like the makings of a nice big three. They really do. I certainly like Vassell, certainly like Wemby. I'm not completely 100% sold on Sohan, but last night they were sensational. 42 points for Victor Wembanyama last night, and that slam dunk, or that dunk that he threw to himself off the backboard, was just a thing of beauty. The guy is incredible, and I don't think we've even scratched the surface on how good he can be. But last night he was sensational. They do a couple of things with that win. They get a game over 500, which is nice. They're 14-13 now. And they beat the Atlanta Hawks, and you want them to beat the Atlanta Hawks because, well, the Spurs own their number one draft pick, and it's unprotected. Although the only problem with that is Atlanta's in a horrible conference. The Eastern Conference is just terrible. So they were the seventh seed going into last night. I don't think that loss affected them. I'll look. I don't know that 100% true, but I tell you what, the Spurs look good. But again, there were a lot of three-pointers in that game, 80 of them combined. And people aren't liking it, including one LeBron James. We're going to hear from LeBron on the three-point shooting thing. And that's been a big critique here as of late, that there's too many three-pointers taken in the NBA these days. We heard Charles Barkley come out and say something yesterday. LeBron James is talking about it today. So we'll hear from LeBron coming up here in just a moment. But it's a big day. There is a lot going on, including some Cowboys slander by a Detroit Lions running back that Micah Parsons has responded to. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into college football. We're going to get into a lot of things. You're going to keep it right here. Keep it locked in on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, Cowboys slander. It's on the way on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas college football head. Wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know the best place to go watch any big game, any big fights, the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those three massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. You think about that Longhorn game tomorrow, the Roo Pub is the Longhorn watching headquarters, UT in Kentucky, all the NFL on Sunday. And when you get into the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food, fantastic. All made from scratch. They have the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, great salads, great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late every day with a full menu available. So when you need that late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru, get into the Roo Pub. You're thinking about a great place for your holiday party, need to book one? Contact the Roo Pub. They will get you taken care of. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard. Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Celebrate the magic of the season with last-minute deals at Target. With up to 50% off toys and video games, you'll save so much while you finish your list. Plus, you'll find incredible deals on clothing, beauty, small appliances, floor care, and so much more. And there are even more ways to save when you join Target Circle for free and get exclusive deals automatically. Hurry to save on gifts before last-minute deals are over. Happier holidays from Target. Restrictions apply.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
Big news! Rob Schmidt just beat CNN in the ratings. Yeah, it's true. Newsmax's #1 host, Rob Schmidt, just had a bigger audience than CNN during any hour of the day. That really is big. Millions of Americans like you are making the switch to Newsmax. They're getting the real facts. No BS and no spin, just the truth. Even President Trump says he's watching Newsmax. You should too. Rob Schmidt and Newsmax are on all major cable systems. YouTube TV just added us. If your system doesn't carry Newsmax, just call them and cancel. Go to getnewsmax.com and we'll help you find a new carrier. 40 million Americans watch Newsmax. Find out why. Go to getnewsmax.com and start watching. Newsmax is real news for real people like you.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20. The Cowboys take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home.
Let's dominate today. I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is all cooking.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe.
So he's out of here for a few days, and I'm Joe Reinagel. Edwin Hafner is producing the show today, so we're here with you in the great studios of San Antonio Sports Star. Lots to talk about, including, as usual, the Dallas Cowboys. And we talk about them because, well, they're always interesting. You know, we heard from Jerry Jones on a promo about a Netflix special that he's doing, how the Cowboys are a soap opera every day of the year. And they certainly are. There's no question about it. And I think you either love the Cowboys or you hate them. There's really no in between. And I think that comes from players as well. And I say that because Jamal Adams, Detroit Lions running back, rookie, was on Kay Adams' show up in Adams. Say that again?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm sorry. What did I say? Jamal? It's Jahmyr Gibbs. My bad. Thanks, Edwin. He was on the Kay Adams show, and they were talking about where he went and where he wanted to go and wanted to be drafted and all that kind of stuff. And listen to what he says.
I said I just didn't want to go to a team up north. That's the only thing I said.
At least you got a dome. God gave you half your little Christmas wish.
Yeah, but I'm happy I came here though. So, I mean,
Yeah, I would say can you imagine playing anywhere else? Like, no way.
no, I said that. I was like, because the Cowboys don't get me 2. I got 24. And then I was like, imagine if I was a Cowboy right now. I'd be so sick. I'd be hot.
That's a great bite. I love that.
Yeah, he would be sick if he was a Dallas Cowboy right now. And the only thing I can think of, the reason he'd be sick is because, well, they're not doing very well. They're not headed to the playoffs. The Lions are. And that's a good thing. And if he was in Dallas, then he'd be headed to the beach early as well. Now, Micah Parsons, as Micah Parsons normally does, well, it didn't take him long once he heard that soundbite to fire off a tweet. And it was just a simple tweet, and I'm trying to decipher the tweet. Maybe you guys can help me out. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there at Joe Reinagel 210 on Twitter, or you can give us a call. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Micah tweets his response is, quote, "This is the biggest cap in America." Now, to me, I'm thinking, well, if he's talking about the biggest cap in America, he's talking about that the Dallas Cowboys are on the biggest stage. They're the most popular team. Some might argue that, but they're certainly they're the wealthiest team of any professional sports team. So maybe that's what Micah is talking about. Jameer, however, is in a pretty good spot. He's going to start. He'd be the starting running back, at least for the foreseeable future. And I'm wondering, the biggest cap in America. Now, Edwin, you're a pretty cool dude. You're a hip guy. What do you think Micah means by that?
I think he just hates people talking about not being a Cowboy.
Well, he's talking about this is the biggest cap in America, and that's the only thing I can think of. It's just like, hey, we're pretty popular. It's pretty good here. Win, lose, or draw. It's the only thing I can think of. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's probably also thinking, why are you commenting on the Cowboys? Like, we're not even going to play them.
Because that's what we do. That's what I do. That's what you do.
They played them back in October, but
right?
I mean, it's not like they're going to play them in the playoffs or anything.
But everybody likes to hate on the Cowboys. It's okay. It's all right. That's what people do. You hate on the Cowboys, or you love on them, or you defend them. And Jameer, hating on them. Micah, loving on them just a little bit. I do have a newfound respect, though, for Micah Parsons, and I got to be honest with you. And I know that that he can be a knucklehead at some time at points, especially on his podcast. But Micah,
we're a damn good football team.
Yeah, Micah has said this a couple of times. We talked about it a little bit yesterday with Stephen Jones, but Micah is actually saying it again. He's saying it out loud that he does not have to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
I mean, I think I'm the best player in the world. I don't throw numbers out there like that. I'll see what they're willing to give me.
Okay, so I mean, I know you recorded a couple weeks ago said you didn't have to be the highest paid.
No, I don't. It would just be nice to be surrounded by good players. You know what I mean? Players that's going to help you win championships. I say that. To me, having, $40 million and chipped every play and slid to with 3-4 people, I don't think that sounds too fun to me. Okay. So, to me, it's about people that can keep making a difference. And obviously, we're going to get Sam back and we're going to get some of them players back. So we'll see how it breaks down. But I want to keep as many guys as possible.
Of course you do. And Micah wants to win. All right, he wants to win. He wants to get paid, too. Everybody wants to get paid. But I think Micah would take a hometown discount if he knew that the Cowboys were going to go out and use that money wisely and try and get something around not only him on the defensive side of the football, but somebody around Dak Prescott and company on the offensive side of the football. Now, we're getting some comments on our YouTube page. Gary Murphy says, cap is lie in common terms. So, okay, I didn't know that, Gary. I'm going to have to take your word for it because I don't know. AD says he meant cap as opposed to no cap. I'm not sure what that means, AD. You might have to explain that, buddy. But Steven Garza, he agrees with Gary, says that's the biggest lie he's ever heard. So I guess that's what that means. You didn't know that, Edwin? I mean, you're a young dude.
I mean, I kind of said it that, like, why is he talking about the Cowboys? I mean.
Well, so he's saying that's the biggest lie. I guess it makes sense. If it makes sense to you guys, that's fine. Look, I'm an old dude, and I don't get some of these terms, but that's okay. I'm just glad he took up for the Cowboys, but look, it's going to happen. And now Micah Parsons has been around long enough to know it's going to happen, and that people are going to hate on the Cowboys, and that's just what happens. But you like being a member of the Dallas Cowboys, especially a big star, because you get a lot of attention and you get a lot of endorsement opportunities and you get a lot of things that other players on other teams just simply don't get. So Micah wants to continue to be a Cowboy. Even insinuates he'd take a hometown discount if the Cowboys make a commitment to go out and get some players to surround him and others. He also said, though, and this is another great talking point as far as I'm concerned for Micah Parsons, that I have a lot of respect for. He says, look, if we get into a contract dispute or we're talking and negotiating, I'm still going to show up to work.
For sure. I definitely think I need to be here in camp because honestly, when you're when so much of the defense is surrounded by your play, your presence, and others getting lined up based off of you, I need to be here so that way I can get these guys accordingly. We can rush together, build that chemistry. So I think it's extreme importance that I'm back at OTAs and, minicamp and all those type of things.
Again, a newfound respect for Micah Parsons. Look, the guy's a hell of a player. I don't think anybody can argue that. The guy's a hell of a player. And the Cowboys could certainly use his services. There's no doubt about it. I have been very open and honest that I think the Cowboys is going to take a lot. Even you re-sign Micah Parsons, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Dak Prescott. Biggest mistake Jerry's made is signing Dak Prescott to the contract that he signed him to. I'm on record saying that multiple times. I think that was a huge mistake. However, it's done. They got to live with it, at least for the foreseeable future. But if you sign those three guys, it's going to take a while to get this team back to prominence unless some of the young guys that you've drafted and that are playing now take a leaps and bounds steps and get a lot better quickly. I don't see this team in any way, shape, or form competing for a Super Bowl if they sign Micah Parsons along with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. So why not trade the guy? Why not at least field offers for the guy? And I think the Cowboys will do that. Whether they trade him or not remains to be seen. I don't think they will, unless somebody just overwhelms them with an unbelievable offer. But it's going to take a while, and they're going to have to get extremely lucky to get this team back on track when you have those three guys taking up as much money in the cap as they're going to be. And I know everybody says, well, they can work it out. They can push that down the road. Look, eventually, and the Cowboys are doing it now, they're paying some of those bills that are coming due from past renegotiated contracts and things of that nature to push some things back. Well, eventually those bills come due. You can't push them away forever. So they will come due. Can they do it? Sure. I'm sure Dak Prescott's going to renegotiate his contract. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if they'll ask him to do that or not. Trayvon Diggs will probably get that done. And then you sign Micah Parsons, and, well, you have what you have, and you hope you get lucky. It remains to be seen. Stephen Jones was on with us yesterday here on the Blitz, as he is every Thursday during the football season. And we told him about Micah Parsons' comments. This was his reaction.
Well, I just, obviously nothing but respect for Micah, for CD, for Dak, and certainly, I think guys are understanding, especially after this year where it can be, there is a salary cap out there, and I know a lot of people say, well, you can push that money forward, which we've been doing for quite some time, but ultimately it catches up, and you have to make some tough decisions. But obviously our goal has been, since we knew we were going to be faced with paying three of the top players in the NFL, and Dak, CD, and Micah, our goal's been to get all three of them. And we think it's players like that help you win championships. And certainly feels great to know that Micah understands and knows that, it's important, and he's got to take care of his family and will for generations to come. But you also it's a good investment in your long-term future if we could somehow, get everybody who's on board right now, some Super Bowl trophy and some championship rings.
Yeah, that would be nice, and that does help everybody down the line. It's going to be interesting when Micah and his agent get into that room with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, and they start talking about that. And I just have a feeling old Jerry will say, well, let me listen to this, Micah, and he's going to play that soundbite back. And then his agent's going to say, oh, my goodness, why did you do that, and so on and so forth. Look, Micah's going to get paid. It's just a matter of how much is he going to get paid. Justin Jefferson right now owns the title of the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL at $35 million a year. So everybody's assuming that Micah will be north of $35 million a year. Micah, 2 weeks ago, said he didn't know the difference between $30 and $40 million. And look, we all know it's $10 million, right? Okay, nobody's stupid. And Micah's not stupid. But I'm just saying, when it comes to that kind of money, do you really know the difference? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. But if you want to win, and I truly believe that Micah Parsons wants to win, he looks around at the landscape of this particular Dallas Cowboys football team, and you see you've got some up-and-comers who, quite frankly, I'm worried about. DeMarvion Overshown is one of them. That guy was balling before he got hurt. Sam Williams, I think, could be a hell of a player. But he's been hurt now a couple of years in a row. Overshown, again, same thing. And with Overshown's injury, you got to worry about the guy coming back and what's he going to look like once he comes back. That's going to be an issue. You got to do something with the secondary. Trayvon Diggs, hurt again. What's he going to be like when he comes back? Will he come back 100%? And let me just throw this out there, and this has nothing to do with my disdain for Dak Prescott as a quarterback. Love the guy as a man. He's a great man. He does a lot of good things. But as a quarterback, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not quite sure Dak Prescott will come back full strength. Second major leg injury for Dak Prescott. The first one, well, he couldn't move very well after that. Now he's got another one. What's that going to do to his mobility? Not to mention everything else playing quarterback. We all just assume, well, they're hurt. They'll be back 100%, no problem. I'm not sure that's the case, and it's certainly going to bear watching as we move forward in the offseason and when OTAs come about, when training camp kicks off next July. All of those things are going to have to be watched because you can't just assume that these guys are going to come back 100%. Trayvon Diggs, they're already estimating he'll miss training camp. What does that mean for his future? So all of those things bear watching, which just goes again to tell you and reiterate the point that the Cowboys have a lot of work to do to get back to prominence. One way to get that done would be to try and find a deal for one Micah Parsons. We'll see if the Cowboys have any taste for doing anything like that. College football playoffs begin tonight. I'm very excited about that. And when we come back at about 2:45, so about, 10 minutes or so from now, UTSA Athletic Director Lisa Campos will join us. She is out with the team getting ready for the bowl game on Monday. We're going to talk to her about this whole revenue share that is expected to come this summer and what that means for UTSA athletics and, in particular, the football team. How does that work, and where's the money coming from, and all of that kind of stuff. We'll talk to Lisa. We'll talk some college football playoffs when we return right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
Okay, we need to make we need a new rule.
Why?
You have to allow the band to play the first bit. As we went and you joined immediately, I thought, what version is this? I thought the version that he was playing.
No, he timed it perfect.
It was so perfect.
I hit the mark, baby. I always hit my mark.
No, the thing is, I thought this version sucks.
Damn. The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Joe Reinagel here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
We have a you just lost a listener email.
Oh,
the
no.
comments are, what the F is your show? Your snickering minions and yourself are terrible at comedy. Whatever you people get paid to do this is too much.
You just lost a listener.
Sounds like the same PD we lost about 5 weeks ago.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. That's right, now's your last chance to trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts, only at Verizon. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Believe it or not, this is the last weekend to get your shopping done before the holidays. And if you still have gifts to buy, it's actually going to be all right. Macy's is having one last one-day sale right now. There's still time to find great deals on gifts for everyone on your list, like 40 to 50% off designer handbags, watches, and box jewelry sets. No wrapping required. But after this weekend, it's just Monday, Tuesday, and you racing against the clock and Santa's reindeer. Macy's one-day sale ends Sunday. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves.
Curbside pickup and delivery available, and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly. B21.
Edwin Hafner with the music inside there, his glass box of fun. Kind of makes you want to tap your toe, doesn't it, Edwin? It's good music. Very nice.
Tap dancing.
Tap dancing, tap the toe, sing along, whatever you want to do. Play the drums with your pen. I mean, all kinds of stuff you could do with that. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I'm Joe Reinagel. Thanks for joining us here on the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Edwin Hafner is producing the show. I'm here. Jason Minix, well, he's taking a few days off for the Christmas holiday. So spend some time with family, well-deserved time with family. So we will carry on without Jason for a few days and go from there. So lots to talk about, including something I'm very excited about, the college football playoffs. They kick off tonight with a game I'm really not sure exactly what to expect from this game. I'll be honest with you. It's Indiana at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, depending on what book you're looking at, is either a 6.5 or 7 point favorite. The weather is supposed to be not so good in South Bend, Indiana tonight. Cold, could be some snow, we understand. How does that affect either team, Indiana or Notre Dame? I would assume not so much. I mean, they're both probably used to that. All I know is that Indiana, the only team they've really played this year, they got their ass handed to them, and that was the Ohio State game. They've got another team that is hot right now, and that's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 6.5 to 7-point favorite. I mean, what I love about sports gambling is the fact that sometimes Vegas will just entice you with these lines, right? Because especially if it's like 6.5, you think, piece of cake. That's easy. Notre Dame will cover that without a problem. And then they don't for some reason or another. A 7-point spread is a little bit different because you've got the full touchdown. I really don't know what to do with this thing, although when you look at it, it's a new experience for everybody, especially in Indiana. Think about that. Indiana's been a basketball school. Football is kind of a new thing for them. Notre Dame, they've been through the battles over the years. So really not a new thing for them, but it is a new thing for the players that they have playing for them. So I don't know. What would you do? How would you bet tonight's game? That's interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm sure I will have something on it. Thanks to my big win with the LA Chargers last night, I've got a little money to work with. It was a great way to start the weekend. Georgia has got a problem. Now, they don't play this week. They've got a bye week because they're the SEC champs. But Carson Beck most likely is not going to play for however long that they are in the college football playoffs. Looks like he's exploring having surgery on that throwing elbow. Remember that injury that he got in the SEC championship game? It's kind of a bent back arm as he was trying to throw it, and a pretty bad injury there. Almost like Tommy John is what the docs at TSAOG told us. It was very similar to that type of injury. So he's going to be out for probably all of the playoffs. I wouldn't expect him back at all. That could hurt their chances. Now, of course, they're waiting for the second round of the playoffs, so they've got some time to think about it and get their backup quarterback ready to go. So we'll see how that affects them. Tomorrow, though, you've got 3 more games and some good ones. Penn State, SMU, that ball game at Penn State, another cold place. The Penn State's used to, SMU not so sure about and how they're going to do that, but I like that game. I like SMU in that game. I'm not sold on Penn State. We'll see what happens in that. Then you've got Texas and Clemson, that game in Austin. Texas, depending on where you look, is an 11.5 to 12-point favorite over the Tigers. So you look at that on paper, and I'm thinking Texas ought to be able to handle Clemson. They really should, just from the physicality standpoint. And that defense that Texas throws out there is so damn good. If Quinn Ewers doesn't throw the ball to the wrong jersey, they may be okay. If you start turning the ball over, I don't care who you're playing, it's very difficult to come back from something like that. So that's going to be interesting to see. And then, of course, the best game, I think, tomorrow on the schedule is Tennessee and Ohio State. And that's a game, I'll be honest with you, has got me a little bit intrigued. Ohio State is a 7-point favorite. Now, they are at home. But a 7-point favorite to a Tennessee team that can be pretty good. That seems like a lot of points to me. And I don't know how to work with that or walk around that one either. But it's going to be fun. Then not to mention that, I mean, what a football day. You got 2 NFL games tomorrow as well, including Houston taking on Kansas City and Pittsburgh at Baltimore. So it's going to be a fun day. Monday's going to be a fun day when the UTSA Roadrunners hit the field against Coastal Carolina. And joining us right now on the Buyers Barricades guest line is the athletic director for the UTSA Roadrunners, Dr. Lisa Campos. Dr. Campos, thank you for joining us today and taking the time. I know you are out in the Carolinas, are you not?
I am looking out my window at a beautiful beach and ocean.
Okay, well, you don't have to make us all jealous. That's good, and very happy, and congratulations for the Roadrunners in another bowl game. And it should be an exciting one, although they could have made the time a little bit better, right? You got to get up early for this one.
We've had a few early ones this year, so I think our team's used to it. And they might prefer it because it's really hard to just sit around all day waiting for an evening game. So I guess there's pros and cons to both.
I guess so. It's not bad at all. By the way, we have that game here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on Monday morning. So keep it right here and listen to the Roadrunners take care of Coastal Carolina. Dr. Campos, I want to ask you, though, because there's been a lot of talk and a lot of confusion, quite frankly. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and maybe clarifying some of the questions that everybody has about this whole revenue share thing. I know you guys talked about it a little bit when you were breaking ground for the new race facility. By the way, congratulations for that as well. It's really kind of a weird thing, is it not? I mean, this looks like it's going to be a thing come this summer if all things go right. How do you operate and navigate the waters with this thing? Have you guys do you guys have a plan in place for that?
For sure. Well, first of all, thank you on the congratulations on the groundbreaking. That is something that we've been striving for a few years now. It was part of the plan when we built Race. And to have the other day come to fruition is just a testament to the support from the city, the county, all of our donors who've come together. Veronica Salazar on our executive team, the president's cabinet who's figured out a way to help us get that shovel in the ground. So that's a great day for UTSA athletics for sure. In regard to the rev share and the House settlement, you're right. It is very confusing. A lot of people don't really understand what all this means, right? Someone actually thought the House settlement has something to do with the House of Congress. House is actually the last name of one of the swimmers at Arizona State who started this lawsuit. So let's start there. But it's an opportunity. It still needs to be settled. I think every indication is that it will be settled. The timeline, they got till January 31st to opt into this. The class does. There's till January 31st for people to object to this. There is a swell of objections that are coming forward, so we'll see how the judge handles that. And then the final determination should happen April 7th, ironically, when we are hosting the men's Final Four championship game on that evening. So we'll know that morning maybe before that, maybe after that. But right now it's scheduled for April 7th. And then it takes effect July 1, 2025. So what does it mean? It means now universities can share in their revenue. And it's a little bit of a complex calculation how they came up with the amount that can be shared. But essentially they've looked at the last, I believe, 10 years of data of P5. They included the Pac-12 in this, but looked at certain categories of revenue, did an average and said 22%. Sounds like the right number to share. And everyone's projecting that will be about $20 million. I think you'll see a lot of the P4 schools get up to that $20 million rev share. I think you'll see a lot of schools like UTSA not get quite to that $20 million share. But that, and then how you share it is in several ways. You can share it through what's called Alston, which is in addition to their scholarships, which schools can currently do. There's also new roster limits in this settlement. So we've talked a lot about football, probably that it's going to go from 85 to 105. Baseball is going to be really affected. All sports are going to be affected in their roster limit. You can count any additional scholarships that you add to the program in that $20 million rev share, and then of course direct payment through NIL. The NCAA wants to figure out the market for NIL because we're all flying blind on this. So they are going to engage in a tax accounting firm that's going to help the whole, all Division I athletics figure out what the market is and monitor, making sure that there's more of a even playing field.
I tell you what, Lisa, it's going to be tough, and I don't envy you and everybody else there at UTSA and every other university in America trying to figure this thing out. When you talk about, by the way, we're visiting with Dr. Lisa Campos, the athletic director at UTSA. When you're talking about revenue share, what revenue are they talking about? And maybe that's a knucklehead question, Lisa, but I mean, is that from ticket sales? What is it from?
Yeah, so I believe it was about 8 categories that they used, anywhere from like you said, from the ticket sales to bowl revenue, if anyone's making any revenue on bowl games. But really, the source, as you can see, most institutions we're going to have to generate more revenue. And, right now, if not all of that revenue is already being used towards operations. So, I sat in a conference the other day, and from P4 ADs to G5 ADs, everyone's talking about a reallocation of resources. They're talking about more fundraising. They're talking about more sponsorships. They're talking about increasing ticket sales. Almost everybody is looking at how do we increase revenue to share with the student athletes while also operating your department at the level you need to operate it. So you're going to see a lot of different creative ways, a lot of monetizing of different things. Again, I think there's very few institutions that just have $20 million or athletic programs that have $20 million ready to just share. So again, it's going to be a reallocation of dollars. It's going to be increasing your revenue.
Yeah, and Lisa, when you look at it, and I know you've got a lot of sports, and naturally when we look at UTSA with the success of the football program, everybody looks at that, but there are other sports that are played at UTSA. Obviously, they say football's the front porch of this thing, so I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, that football will get the most of the allocated dollars. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I think that you see that nationally, even in obviously there's still going to be a Title IX component to that, but, there's a lot of attorneys working on this and trying to figure out what that looks like right now. I think people saw Kirby Holcutt come out with that, their numbers, so you see that the majority of that will go towards football, men's and women's basketball, and then the other sports. And everyone's going to be prioritizing their sports. And, I think if you look at UTSA over the last few years, we've heavily invested in football, to your point, that there's a return on that. And it's not always financial, but it's great for the university. It's, why we went to the American. It's higher visibility. It's more branding. It's attracting students to UTSA, attracting faculty to UTSA. So football definitely has the potential to do that, and it helps all other sports.
Dr. Lisa Campos, the athletic director at UTSA, joining us here on the Blitz. Lisa, I would assume that Jeff Traylor, every other coach is going to tell you, Dr. Campos, this is what we need. Have those conversations been had?
Absolutely. We've been gauging most of our coaches. Again, we're not going to be able to, I love the saying, you can't water every part of the grass at once. So we're not going to be able to do every sport, in year one, but we've been having conversations with the coaches that we want to continue to invest in, that we know are important to the department and the university. And so those conversations are always happening. And I can tell you, part of the NCAA, the reason they're doing the market valuation is so that we're not flying blind and we have more of an idea. But right now we're just guesstimating what's going to make us competitive, and our coaches have a number in mind that we're really driving towards.
And then what about NIL? If this thing comes to fruition, do they go away, or will they still be a part of what you do?
Yeah,
the collectives, I guess, is what I mean.
Yeah. With the settlement, now we can pay NIL directly to student athletes as an institution. We've heard all the way across the board that some of the collectives are going to close shop and let the universities handle it. We have a couple of really strong, or three really strong collectives here in San Antonio. So it's going to take a village. It's going to take everybody. So I know that they're going to continue to work in partnership with us. But that will be dealt differently with all institutions.
Lisa, it's bittersweet for me, and we talk about it on this show quite a bit, but when you're talking about, and we'll just use football as an example, college football is probably as exciting as it's been in a long time, and it's always been exciting. But I just see a cliff coming with some of this stuff, because every coach that you hear from across the country is talking about, we need more money. We need more money. All players care about now, a lot of them, not all of them, obviously, but is how much are you going to pay me? Do you see this as maybe a part of a solution but a long way to go, or how do you see this? This to me doesn't look like the final solution.
No, I agree with you. I think it's ever evolving. We still got to get through the House settlement. That's not even approved yet, Ray. So
Right.
It's going to forever be evolving. One of the great things, though, is that there have been more eyeballs on intercollegiate athletics than ever before, particularly football, some of the women's programs, women's basketball in particular. There are more eyeballs, and it could be because of the chaos going on. People are paying attention to it, but it continues to be a part of the university that brings everybody together, and that is not going away. We are going to figure out how to make this very fair for student athletes. They are not only getting a quality education at UTSA, but with the community support, they're going to be able to get some spending money in their pockets, and that's what it's truly about. Is you think about NIL opportunities and what it is teaching these student athletes. So unfortunately, it kind of got away from what was intended, and maybe someday it'll turn the tide and get back to what it's really for.
Well, I really hope so, and I hope you're right about that, because I think it has to be. We had an opportunity at the Army-Navy game to talk with Commissioner Pernetti, and are they going to put a floor on what the schools in the American Conference are going to be able to offer?
Yeah, a lot of conversation happening right now, not just in our conference and in other conferences, that there might be a minimum investment to be in a league, and those are conversations that are continuing to happen within our league. And, a ton of credit to Tim Pernetti. He's come in and has just thought and embraced what's happening, in this space. And he wants to do what will advance all of our institutions within the American Athletic Conference. So he is working very hard. He's thinking about all of this every day and really supporting our institutions.
Well, I tell you, Lisa, I really think the American Conference is a great spot for UTSA, and it's very competitive. A lot of good schools, and so I think that's where you guys belong. And it's exciting to see what the future holds for you guys. Lisa Campos, athletic director for UTSA. I'm going to let you get back to the beach and enjoy getting ready for a college football bowl game. Really appreciate you taking some time this afternoon.
Thanks so much. I hope I didn't confuse people more. It's a complex situation right now.
No question. I think you helped tremendously. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time at the bowl game.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Okay. Lisa Campos, Dr. Lisa Campos, athletic director for UTSA. And, boy, they've got a fight on their hands and some figuring out to do. There is no question about it. But Dr. Campos joins us courtesy of the Buyers Barricade guest line. All guests, in fact, appear on the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. What did you think about what Dr. Campos had to say? Any reaction to that from your standpoint? I'd love to hear from you. I think that there's a misconception. I appreciate her candor. Obviously, there's no numbers other than they're not going to be able to do $20 million, and I think we all know that. But asking the question about the coaches, because we've heard numbers from sources that Jeff Traylor, for example, would like to have $3 million. If that happens, that's great. How's that going to get there? What's going to happen? They've got to raise some money, all kinds of stuff. But she's right. First and foremost, this lawsuit has to be settled, and it looks like that it's going to, unless there's a monkey wrench thrown in somewhere along the line. But April 7th is a date you want to circle on your calendar, not only for the men's Final Four here in San Antonio, but, for that lawsuit to be settled as well. Interesting stuff. Would love to hear your comments. If you're on YouTube, we appreciate that. Like and subscribe our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. Twitter, I'm Joe Reinagel, 210 on Twitter. You can comment there as well. And, of course, you're always welcome to call in here to the studios at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Charles Barkley doesn't like Christmas. Okay, that's not true. Something about Christmas Charles Barkley doesn't like. We'll let you know what that is when we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 410 with The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM, Florida. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, Jason Minix here for my friends at Hill Electric. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I know I've used Hill Electric at my house for a variety of projects through the years. They've added extra outlets in the garage because, the builder never puts enough in there. They put a nice spotlight over one of my grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. Whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service for the right price. And you know what? Never a service charge, always free estimates. So it costs you nothing to figure out what it will take to get your project done. Hill Electric, a great local family-owned business. Again, never a service charge, always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or check their website, hill-electric.com. That's hill-electric.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. For details.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I got it. What? The new Oprah, the new Ellen. Okay. Brittany.
Yeah.
This is my house.
She starts every show with that.
She is not.
Hi, I'm Brittany. This is my house.
She has not been out in public enough.
Hi, John Clay Wolf. Let's go sit down.
Right.
This is my house.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
College football playoffs begin tonight. Number 10 Indiana travels to Notre Dame to battle the 7th-ranked Irish. It's a game you can hear right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star beginning at 6:30. Tomorrow we have 3 college football playoff games, including Texas taking on Clemson. You can listen to all 3 of them here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. They kick off at 11 o'clock.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio.
hopefully, all of you have a little time off. You're going to be able to spend some time with your family and friends over the Christmas holidays. Christmas Eve on Tuesday, Christmas Day on Wednesday. It's going to be interesting, going to be fun. I love this time of year. I'm Joe Reinagel. Edwin Hafner is producing the show today. Jason Minix, well, he's taking some time off. Speaking of spending some time with family, he's doing that. His daughter's in town, so he's taking a few days off to spend some time with her. Well-deserved day off for my partner there, Jason Minix. So I hope he enjoys that. We'll carry on, though, because there's a lot going on. Great time of year. Not only Christmas season, but with the college football playoffs, with the NFL playoffs fast approaching and teams battling for playoff position. It is just fantastic. And speaking of that, boy, I tell you what, you talk about a guy that just did not do anything. We have some breaking news, Edwin. The Baltimore Ravens have waived wide receiver Deontay Johnson. That is incredible. Now, Johnson will go on waivers. He can be claimed Monday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Interesting. Deontay Johnson is no longer a member of the Baltimore Ravens. Just been a big disappointment for the Ravens since they got him. And so they have decided to move on, and they have waived him. Be interesting to see if somebody picks him up. Once he clears waivers, they might need some wide receiver help, although he hasn't been much help to the Baltimore Ravens this season, that's for sure. Just stuff like that going on today. It's nuts. We just got off the phone with UTSA Athletic Director Lisa Campos, and she was trying to explain the revenue share. And I feel a little bit better, although there's some things that still have to be ironed out and how this is going to happen and where the money's going to come from and yada, yada, yada. If you've got any comments on that, I'd sure like to hear them. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate that. Be sure and like and subscribe the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. You can get me on Twitter at Joe Reinagel210. And, of course, you're always welcome to give us a call. If you just want to say Merry Christmas, for goodness sake, that'd be nice. Have you give us a call, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. So much to talk about, including the Christmas time. And while I love this time of year, and I think Charles Barkley does as well, but there's something that he doesn't like so much. It's time for the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
Charles Barkley last night was talking about Christmas, talking about he and Shaq and Ernie and, all of them talking about Christmas presents and rich friends and what you get and all of that kind of stuff. Well, Chuck, there's a part of Christmas that Chuck, well, he's not a big fan of.
You know how I feel about Christmas.
Agree.
But to see the joy on these kids' faces, man, every kid, man, I just hope y'all have a great Christmas, man, because it's really about you guys, the young girls and the young men. Because, I don't believe in getting adult stuff.
No, you don't.
You do not. 18.
So what's the use of having rich friends if you can't get nice gifts?
No, man, it's for kids and kids only. Adults should not be getting toys. When I'm president of the United States, that's going to be the first.
Oh, my God.
That's going to be the First Amendment.
Wait a minute. Did Chuck just break some news there? Is he going to run for president next? Charles Barkley, when he is president, that would be interesting to see Chuck as the president of the United States. I think every day would be a lot of fun if Charles Barkley was president, and maybe bring some common sense to some of the politicians that are there. But interesting, right? Chuck says, look, adults shouldn't get presents. Now, he did say toys. So I guess you could consider maybe if you give adults something else besides toys, jewelry, clothes, whatever, then that's okay. Well, how do you guys feel? I mean, seriously, Christmas is a time for giving, but, when you're talking about gifts, it really is for the kids, isn't it? And I'm saying that still knowing that I've got a few gifts to buy. So I kind of like Chuck's suggestion there that maybe adults shouldn't get anything. I don't know, Edwin, what do you think about that? You think adults should get gifts, or should it just be for kids? Yeah. Well, you're still a kid yourself.
Well, Charles is 60 years old, I think.
Yeah.
So
what's wrong with that?
No, I'm just saying you're not too old for any gift.
Well, hey, look, if you want to give somebody a gift, I think it's okay. Chuck always brings a good perspective to different things. That's for sure. I love listening to that guy, and I'm glad they're not going away. Charles, the best guy on TV these days. There's no question about it. I don't know if you guys get into darts. I'm kind of a dart guy. When you go to a bar and there's a dart board there, I enjoy playing, and I'm not all that great at it, but I'm not horrible at it either. But it's kind of fun to go and play. Well, there is a professional dart league, by the way. It's called and they had their championship. It's called the World Darts Championship. Well, one guy by the name of Christian Kist, I'm assuming that's how you say that, K-I-S-T, Christian Kist, did something that is pretty special among the dart folks.
Crowd rise. Christian Kist, can he deliver? On the biggest stage of all, Christian Kist, the Dutchman, it's the first perfect leg of this year's World Championship, and he does it to take the opening set. They're dancing in the palace. Absolute perfection there, delivered every dart. There was no mistake, no hesitation. This is pristine Christian Kist. And there's the double. You couldn't get better.
Oh, my. It's Christian Kist. I mean, I guess that's like throwing a perfect game. What the guy did, he threw what they call a 9-darter. Okay, so it took him 9 darts to get to the score that he needed. Now, I'm watching the video of this guy, and if you get a chance to go look at it, you can see it. But he hits like the first 3 darts are all the triple 20s. And he does that again the second time. And then the third time, he hit every number that he needed to hit the score perfectly and did it. So a 9-darter is what they call that. I'm assuming that's like a 300 in bowling or pitching a perfect game. Anything like that, and a 9-darter. But did you hear the crowd? They simply went nuts for this guy. Crazy. And I guess over in England, darts are a big deal because the place was packed watching these guys throw darts. The other guy he played sucked. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, the other guy was just awful. He couldn't hit anything. He's trying to hit the triple 20s, and he was hitting everything else all around it, and he just couldn't do anything. I mean, this was a classic take you out to the woodshed and just wear you out. And that's what Christian Kist did to his opponent with his 9-darter, and the crowd went wild. I thought it was kind of fascinating. The problem is if you just got a cold beer, you're sitting down, this dude ends the match just like that, it kind of make you mad, wouldn't it? I don't know. Kind of make me mad. I was like, I just got a beer, dude. You want to stretch this out a little bit? 9-darter. You ever heard of a 9-darter,
No,
Edwin?
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
I don't watch dart throwing when it's on ESPN.
That's on ESPN?
Well, in the summer when there's nothing on.
You know what I watch?
Like when they have cornhole and they have the World Series of poker and everything when there's nothing on.
Dude, I don't mind watching poker, but I got entrenched into the cornhole tournament they were having.
During COVID?
Well,
that's when it came on a lot.
I wasn't necessarily during COVID, but I was sitting in an airport bar. I know, y'all find that hard to believe. And I'm sitting there watching this cornhole tournament. And these guys are just like really good. And it's like, you know, I love it when you make sports and professional sports out of stuff that you do when you're just in your backyard or at a tailgate party drinking. I think it's fascinating. I love it. And these guys were good. And so what it tells me is they drink a lot of beer and they play a lot of cornhole. And they're very good at it. So, I mean, would it be great if that was your job? Honey, I got to go buy a case of beer and play some cornhole. That's my job. I got to practice. Maybe I should get into that. I can do that. I can damn sure drink beer. And, you know, you get good at cornhole and there you go. You got a profession. You're a professional sportsman after that. I just love to go to Maggie. Hey, honey, I got to drink beer and play cornhole. I got to practice. Got a big tournament coming up. Ding, 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 ding. I like cornhole. No offense to anybody that is a cornhole player. It's a lot of fun. and it's fun to drink beer. Hey, Spurs won a big game last night. They knocked off the Atlanta Hawks in overtime. Victor Wembanyama was simply sensational. Let's talk about that. We'll do that when we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Calling all of Cowboys Nation in San Antonio. It's time to gear up with the ultimate Dallas Cowboys apparel. Whether you're heading to the game or watching from home, the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop has you covered. From hoodies to hats, jerseys to jackets. Find all your Cowboys essentials at any of our 4 San Antonio locations. River Center, Ingram Mall, North Star Mall, and Huebner Oaks Shopping Center. We're open 7 days a week. Find the best selection of Cowboys gear and rep the star loud and proud.
Listen to this message I received.
First message.
This is Santa Claus. Hey, I'm calling to give you a heads up. Last Christmas, so many people asked me for a Connecticut water softener, but getting all those Connecticut units in and out of the sleigh, up and down the chimneys, well, it's not so good on my back. So I'm going to forward all those Connecticut wish lists directly to you. Here's Mrs. Claus.
Thanks again for installing our Connecticut. I just love how soft my man's beard is, and my skin feels silky smooth, even here at the North Pole.
So if it's okay with you, I'll handle the toys, you handle the water softeners.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit, and $400 off when you trade in your old water softener.
By the way, the elves just love your jingle.
Call 656 Pure Connecticut.
I'm not a fan of the gluten-free cookies. Bye-bye.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656 Pure Connecticut.
Rock's Discount Vitamins wants to wish you and yours a very happy holidays and a healthy new year. Right now through Christmas, receive a free $10 gift card for yourself with a $50 Rock's card purchase, or a free $20 gift card with a $100 Rock's card purchase. Losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy, let Rock's get you ready for the new year. With 12 area locations, find one nearest you at rocksdiscount.com. Rock's thanks God and you for all the support.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves.
Curbside pickup and delivery available, and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Let's get wild.
Sitting here looking at the box score from last night's Spurs game. They beat the Atlanta Hawks in overtime. And new starting lineup, Devin Vassell in for Stephon Castle in that starting lineup. And it paid off. I mean, the starters were great. When you look at Victor with 42 points, Devin Vassell 23 points, Jeremy Sohan with 20, and Chris Paul throws in 12. Pretty good starting lineup, and they did a good job. Victor Wembanyama was simply sensational last night. By the way, this is the Blitz. Did I mention that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Thanks so much for spending some time with us on this Friday before Christmas week, which is next week, so we appreciate that. Jason Minix is out for a few days, spending some time with his family. He'll be at the Spurs game tomorrow night. If you're going out there, look for old Jason. He'll be there somewhere. Victor Wembanyama last night did what superstars are supposed to do. When the Spurs needed him the most in the fourth quarter, the guy went off and scored 11 straight points. That's what they're supposed to do. And the team is finally healthy, and that's the good thing. But we're always talking about skipping steps, right? And you don't want to skip steps and all of that kind of stuff. So after last night's big win, 133-126, Wemby was asked if the way the team's playing, they seem to be improving. Has that timeline changed a little bit?
I mean, it's always been. I would say it's always been fast. And yeah, we have to be patient. Can't skip steps, but at the same time, can't take too much time to take a step. So I like how it's going now. I like the fact that everybody's going into games expecting to win it. You know, we're not expecting anything else. So we're being held to some standards, and I think it's moving in the right direction for sure. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy or easy to see what to do.
It's okay, Wemby. Enjoy the win. You're doing good. The team's playing well. A game over 500 right now, the 11th seed in the Western Conference, and have an opportunity, a real opportunity. This team does. A lot of basketball left to be played, but a real opportunity to get into the playoffs, whether that's the play-in or otherwise. And look, I love Devin Vassell. Love Victor Wembanyama, obviously. Jeremy Sohan, maybe he'll grow on me. Obviously played a lot of minutes last night and did what Jeremy does. But maybe the Spurs have found, of those three guys, and I leave Chris Paul out because Chris Paul's not going to be a part of this team moving forward. At least it doesn't appear that way right now. So I leave him out, but the big three, this team's version of the big three, boy, if they can play like that every night, they're going to be a difficult team to deal with, no matter who they're playing. So that's good. And Devin Vassell said after the game last night that this team is finally learning how to win.
Each game, yes, for sure. CP definitely harps on it. Sometimes we'll have certain scouts and we'll talk about certain things, certain tendencies, to where he tells us it's like stuff that happens in the playoffs, and a lot of us don't have that type of experience. So it's just huge. Each game we're building, each game we're learning. Like HB said, it's all in the little details in the scouts of, if you don't want somebody to get to their right hand, if you know they're going to be crashing offensive glass, like whatever the case may be, we try to just take those little things away.
And that's you heard Devin Vassell talking about Chris Paul and his role with this team, and it's to teach them how to play, how to win games, how to be winners and get it done, and to because I think this team, especially last year, didn't know how to win games. They played really well at times, but you got to take that extra step, and I will admit that Chris Paul is in there and he's teaching these guys how to win. In fact, he even said after the game he hopes the team realizes now that they can win.
I think Mitch said something great in the locker room about we don't have to save nothing. We got so many bodies, we can just rotate guys in or whatnot. So it's great to have Trey out there, to have Zach back, all these guys, man, because we just got such a young, vibrant team, young, not me, but probably not Harrison too. But we have a really good team, and I just hope we understand that we can be really good. You know, we don't have to wait till next year or the year after. Like, we need to be trying to win right now.
And you're getting the job done, Chris. That's for sure. With a over 500, albeit a game over 500, you're doing great in a conference that is very good. And look, the Spurs should win tomorrow night. They've got the Portland Trail Blazers, who are not a very good team. So that should be a game that the Spurs should win. And moving forward, obviously the schedule will get a little bit tougher. But this team, I think, knows how to win. And I think Wemby, you heard him, he's ready to go. This guy's ready to go. Forget about the skip and steps thing. Let's win now. It's time. Let's get it done. And I love it when he says that. Again, the Spurs have the Portland Trail Blazers in here tomorrow night. We've got Danny Kanell in here coming up here in just a few moments. We're going to talk some college football playoffs and, well, who the heck knows what else. Danny Kanell, he joins us next when we continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the college football playoffs. We are down to 8. And the NFL, what a great weekend in football. The Cowboys, Bucks, we'll talk about that and all the other action. Party starts at 6. Don't miss it.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, before you fire up that grill this weekend, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market because that great meal does start with great meat. You need to pick up your turkeys. You ordered them. You can start picking them up this weekend over at Tri-County Meat Market. And again, fire up that grill. Tri-County has what you need with the quality you expect. You can always take advantage of their Pick 5 special, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, online at tricountymeat.com.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Big news! Rob Schmidt just beat CNN in the ratings. Yeah, it's true. Newsmax's #1 host, Rob Schmidt, just had a bigger audience than CNN during any hour of the day. That really is big. Millions of Americans like you are making the switch to Newsmax. They're getting the real facts. No BS and no spin, just the truth. Even President Trump says he's watching Newsmax. You should too. Rob Schmidt and Newsmax are on all major cable systems. YouTube TV just added us. If your system doesn't carry Newsmax, just call them and cancel. Go to getnewsmax.com and we'll help you find a new carrier. 40 million Americans watch Newsmax. Find out why. Go to getnewsmax.com and start watching. Newsmax is real news for real people like you.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
Football season is in full swing, and you can take full advantage by winning some cash with Sleeper Picks. Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less than at least 2 of your favorite player stats. If you're right, you could win. You can pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to play $5, and they'll receive $55 in free bonus entries. That's right. If you deposit $25 and play $5, they'll give you 11 $5 bonus entries to start playing. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code BLOCK and get in on this promo before time runs out. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Use code BLOCK to claim the play $5, get $55 bonus entry offer. That's code BLOCK. Must be at least 18 years old in most states and present in state where it is legal to wager. Promo code location, other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details at sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
Welcome back. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix, he's off today, taking some time with some family, but we've got a friend of the show and a guy that knows everything there is to know about college football and a lot of other things, too. Danny Kanell joins us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line, courtesy of Bet Online. Danny, welcome back.
How we doing? It's awesome to be on with you, man. It's crazy that we've caught up a couple times this season, and now we're at the finale. You know, we're coming down the home stretch. It always goes by so fast. But I love it, man. I think it's going to be an awesome weekend.
I tell you what, I got up this morning and realized we've got a college football playoff game tonight. And, man, it just put me in a great mood. Indiana, Notre Dame. And, you know, Danny, I'm trying to figure this thing out because Indiana, the one time they played somebody, well, it didn't turn out too well for them. And Notre Dame's playing well. How do you see this game tonight?
Joe, so the numbers come down a little bit. I've liked Indiana for a while coming into this game. I think they're kind of sleeping. You know, people criticize them, said they haven't played anybody, but Notre Dame hasn't exactly had a gauntlet of a schedule either. I think Indiana learned a lot. I actually talked to Kirk Cignetti on Selection Sunday, and I asked him about the Ohio State game where it got pretty ugly. And one of the things he said that I thought was very interesting is he said, we went on a silent cadence, which is where the quarterback doesn't say anything because you're anticipating crowd noise and you can't hear anything. So you usually kick your heel up or you do something that's just quiet. You don't say anything. He said it was the biggest mistake of his coaching career. He said he'll never do it again. So I would expect Curtis Rourke to be barking the signals as loud as he can. I think that helps the offensive line. But most importantly, I think Indiana's defense is good enough to slow down the run game of Notre Dame. And then I think they can limit Riley Leonard, who isn't exactly a guy you're going to confuse with Patrick Mahomes throwing the football. So I actually like Indiana here in the points on the road in South Bend. And I don't know if you've seen, I'm sure you have, Joe, the pictures and the scenes coming out of there with the little snow flurries.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, that's what we all dreamed about when we talked about this type of road environment for college football playoffs on campuses.
Boy, you're not kidding, Danny. And SMU's going to have to deal with that tomorrow at Penn State. Of course, here in Texas, we're pulling for the Mustangs. obviously to do well. This is a team, I think, in SMU going up against a Penn State team. I'm a little worried about the physicality of Penn State for SMU. What do you think?
I totally agree. I mean, I think that determines the outcome of the game. I was in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game and watched Oregon, the number one team in the country, struggle against the two-headed monster that Penn State has in the backfield with two guys named Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. They both went over 100 yards rushing against Oregon's defense, which is really good, but so's SMU's. Their defense is good enough. I worry about the weather, the impact it has on a team from Texas going into a cold environment. It usually doesn't bode well, but I think Brett Lashley will be able to put up some points. Kevin Jennings is elusive. They've got 5 or 6 receivers across the board. No one that jumps out to you, but they do like to spread the football around. I think they'll figure out a way to put up points. So I actually like the over in this one because I do think Penn State scores against SMU, but I also think that SMU will be able to put some points up of their own. That's my favorite play in that game is over the total in Penn State SMU.
Nice. Danny Kanell joining us here on the Blitz. And, of course, Danny, really close to Austin here in San Antonio, so a lot of Longhorn fans here. And, I've got to say, and I think we've talked about this before, Texas really got lucky. And I'm looking at the odds here on BetOnline, and Clemson is 50-1 to win this thing. Arizona State's 50-1, and that would be the Longhorns' first 2 opponents. I think they got a pretty good path moving forward.
They do. I mean, it sets up perfectly for them with those first 2 matchups. And then, of course, they could have to play Oregon in the Cotton Bowl, I think, is the semifinal matchup that if favorites win out, it could be there. I would just make sure they take care of Clemson. I think Clemson's a dangerous opponent in round 1. And I know there's a big number there, 12.5. I think the current number sits there. But Clemson's playing with house money. They have nothing to lose, right? Texas is one of the favorites. They're supposed to go through this bracket and cruise on to victory. Cade Klubnik, quietly, the quarterback for Clemson, has 33 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. That's good for 3rd in the entire country, up there with guys like Cam Ward from Miami and other superstar quarterbacks. Their defense, I think, needs to get off the field. That's where I think Texas could have some success. Not necessarily throwing the football because Quinn Ewers been a little bit up and down, but getting that run game going. Clemson's defense ranks 14th in the ACC. That's towards the bottom. They have struggled to get off the field versus rush offenses. If they don't do that, it's going to be a long night. But I do think Clemson has enough in the tank to keep it inside that big number of 12.5. So I think Texas gets it done, but I think it'll be a much closer game than the odds makers think.
Well, Danny, you probably know this, but Klubnik already has beaten Ewers once in a state championship game.
In that stadium, right?
In that stadium. So that could be a revenge matchup for Ewers. And I love what you say about Quinn Ewers because the guy has been up and down, and he's turning the football over. And I think if he does that again tomorrow, they are going to be in trouble. You cannot turn the football over against Clemson.
No, I wonder if he's still hindered. I mean, clearly, when he's wearing what looks like a ski boot on his ankle, the twisted ankle, and when he's got the oblique injury, I look at him as something is wrong. Now, like maybe he's still bothered by the oblique, which would definitely impact your ability to throw the football. Your ankle impacts your mobility and your ability to really push off your feet and get some weight behind the football. So I think something's off, but I do wonder if a couple weeks off, because, they did play in that SEC championship game 2 weeks ago, and getting Kelvin Banks, his big tackle, back for him healthy. I wonder if that's what really helps get that offense going, because it's been a little herky-jerky. It hasn't exactly been the high-flying offense that we're used to seeing with a Steve Sarkisian offense, and with Quinn Ewers at the helm. Without Isaiah Bond, it should be a little bit trickier, but they do have enough weapons out there. But I wonder if they're healthy, if that could be the potential explosiveness they've been lacking here as of late.
That's going to be fun Saturday, no doubt. And, of course, the nightcap, Danny, is Tennessee and Ohio State. And I don't know, am I crazy? I like Tennessee in this one.
I get it. I mean, right, Ohio State, the last time we saw them out there, it was ugly against Michigan. A team that's 6-6. They're not very good. And Ohio State looked awful, and they're booing their own fans, and you got mayhem after Michigan planting the flag on their field, right? I still think Ohio State, if they can get out of their own heads, I thought that was a mental game where they played uptight, where they just played not to lose. they better open it up or else they're going to get beat. Not just not cover, they're going to get beat at home because Tennessee, I know Josh Heupel, their coach, is known for being able to throw the football, but their strength is actually running the football. Dylan Sampson is the best running back in the SEC, and he comes into Columbus, into the shoe, to try to do the exact same thing Kalel Mullings with Michigan did, and that's carry it 35 times and just try to run over Ohio State. But I have a feeling that Ryan Day kind of exercises those demons. I still think this team is uber talented. If they can win this game, I think they could win it all. They just have to get past this hump. So I do like that. Over a touchdown number feels pretty big. So I do like Tennessee getting 7.5 there on the road. But ultimately, I think if Ohio State wins this game, even if it's by a field goal or 1 point, I think that could kind of sort of free them up of the pressure that is surrounding them, including Ryan Day, who has had a phenomenal coaching record, but he's had struggles against Michigan. And if he loses this game, oh my goodness, there are going to be some cries for him to be fired, which is really going to be an ugly scene in Columbus. But I do think they win and could win it all.
Wow, that's interesting, and that's what's going to make tomorrow so much fun. We're visiting with Danny Kanell here on the Blitz, courtesy of Bet Online. Now, Danny, I've got to ask you before we let you go. I'm looking at a letter here that you wrote to Dear Transfer Portal Player X.
Yeah,
I get the feeling you're not a transfer portal fan.
It's not so much the portal itself; it's the combination of everything that we see. Like, I get it. Like, if you're a quarterback and you're playing behind, a player like Arch Manning, or if you're playing behind somebody and there's only one football and you want to transfer, I get it. But the trend I'm seeing is guys hopping from school to school every single year, and more importantly, leaving before the season is done. We just saw Penn State's backup quarterback who plays a lot, Bo Pribula. He plays a lot for Penn State. He decided to enter the transfer portal, and he's not even finishing the season trying to win a championship for the Nittany Lions. And I know people don't want to criticize him. They want to criticize the system that's in place. And I would agree with that because the calendar is broken. The fact that players can transfer and hit the portal before the season's even over, some of these playoff teams and bowl teams, I think is ridiculous. But I also can't stand the love letters that we get from players once they hit the portal because they always wax poetic about, oh, I love my coaches. I love my teammates. I've loved everything about this campus. But with that being said, I'm going to leave them all in the dust in the rear view and go chase another team. Like, I can't stand that. If you want to get in the portal, by all means, go ahead. But enough with the love letters. So I had to have a little fun with that and make a little love letter of my own to all those anonymous transfer portal players that are bouncing on their team.
Real quick, Danny, before I let you go, do you see any end in sight? I know this revenue share, it looks like it's coming, and we've been talking about that here at UTSA. But coaches, I mean, they're talking about there's no relationship anymore. It's just all about the dollars for a lot of these players.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, for unfortunate realities, it's been about the money for a lot of coaches, right? They get pay raises. It's just where we are in the business right now. We just need structure. We need somebody that would take control of this thing, like a commissioner or a league, which I do think probably within 10 years we see a separation where there's a college football league and that, you have probably 40 or 50 or maybe 60 on the high end college football programs that just start paying their players. And I think the players need a union so they can collectively bargain, but that also the structure that would bring is necessary so that when you have a player sign with your program, he's under contract for 2 or 3 years and potentially 4 if you wanted to do that. And they couldn't break that contract, without penalty. And right now, every single player is on a 1-year deal and they can become free agents every single year. That's a broken system. Like, the players in college have more power now than the NFL, and that is a flawed system. And it's impossible to bring continuity to the greatest team sport we know. It's impossible to create a team environment. I hate that about it. I hope we see that structure come sooner rather than later. But while we wait for it, the players are just taking advantage of it and hopping around from school to school, which makes it really challenging on coaches.
Florida State legend Danny Kanell joining us here on the Blitz. Danny, always appreciate your time, my friend, and thanks for the insight. We'll talk again.
Appreciate it, Joe. It's always great being on. Enjoy the games this weekend.
I will, Danny. Thank you. You do the same. Danny Kanell, courtesy of Bet Online, joining us here on the Blitz, and, of course, courtesy of Buyers Barricades guest line. All guests, in fact, appear via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. Interesting stuff there from Danny Kanell, and kind of talking about all of the games, and including Texas. And I tell you what, Longhorn fan, Texas really does have the easiest path. Now, I know Clemson, and Danny said don't sleep on them. Arizona State, I know, is a hot ball club right now, but this Texas team got lucky as hell. When you look at the odds of Arizona State and Clemson, both 50-1, they're last of all the group. They're behind SMU, behind Indiana, behind Boise State when it comes to the odds for winning the college football championship. Texas got lucky. Oregon, on the other hand, has got maybe the toughest road to go to get there, and they're the number 1 seed. So it doesn't really match up too well, but it's going to be interesting to see what Texas does. Quinn Ewers can't turn the football over. If I'm Quinn Ewers and Sarkisian tomorrow, I'm running the football 60 times. You can beat Clemson running the football, and they certainly are physical enough to do that and just take the ball completely out of Quinn's hands. He's just not playing well right now, which is why I called for a change at quarterback. It's not going to happen. I get it. I understand, but it should, or there should have been some thought there, and it's going to be interesting to see how much Sark plays Arch Manning tomorrow, and what kind of packages does he have? I'm sick and tired of the package that comes in, and you know damn good and well as soon as he gets a snap, he's going to run with the football. There's no secrets there, and that's what's been happening. I know there was a trick play where it went between his legs. I get that, but it's something. I'd love to see Arch Manning under center or in the shotgun and allow that young man to throw the football. Quinn Ewers has already screwed up his draft status. I get people telling me that all the time. Well, Sark doesn't want to ruin his draft status. Well, it's already ruined to the point where Quinn is thinking about staying in college. Now, he's not going to stay with Texas. I don't think that anybody wants to see that, and I don't think anybody would allow that. But he could stay in college, take the route that Cam Ward took. Cam Ward had an opportunity to go to the NFL last year. Saw his draft status where they thought he was going to be drafted. Miami offers him some money, and Cam Ward goes to Miami and has upped his draft stock where he could very well be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft this year. So maybe Quinn Ewers might have to do that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I would be shocked if Quinn Ewers is a 3rd-round pick or lower. I think it's going to be it would be higher than that if he goes to the NFL right now. So it may behoove him to transfer somewhere and play another year of college football. He's got the eligibility to do that and trying to improve his draft stock. I just don't see this guy, and I never have. And Quinn Ewers, it shows flashes. He does. But I just don't see him as an NFL quarterback. I just don't. Not in any way, shape, or form as a star NFL quarterback. And for Texas, they can't afford to turn the football over. Quinn Ewers is doing that quite a bit. Whether it's his fault or not, I hear that argument too. Well, it's not Quinn's fault. It's this, it's that. It sounds like the Dak Prescott argument that I have to deal with from my partner over here. Well, it's not his fault. The receiver dropped the ball. And I know that's the case at times. But with Quinn, he's got to learn to not turn the football over. He's got to learn to stay healthy or try to. And a lot of times it's nobody's fault. It's just bad luck. But you got to stay healthy. You got to stay on the field. And Quinn has not been able to do that. It's going to be interesting to see. But I think Quinn can help himself because of Texas' schedule. They ought to be able to win this game with Clemson. They ought to be able to win it going away. The line on that thing is 12. I've seen it as high as 12.5. So Texas should win this game. And if they don't, or if it's closer than that, you're going to say, what the hell's wrong with Texas? You're in the playoffs now. You're at home playing in Austin. And you've got to win this game. And you've got to come out and win this game convincingly. I just think that's the only way. And then you take on Arizona State, as hot as they are, you should be able to handle them as well, because I see that line being about the same as it is with this Clemson team. So Texas, it's opened up for you. It's wide open. You've got a clear path to the Oregon Ducks. Are you going to take it or not? Or are you going to screw it up? Texas is very fortunate that they're not, well, first of all, they're not playing Georgia. That's fortunate enough. They were fortunate to beat Texas A&M. They were, because of the turnovers. Even though they should have dominated that game. They were clearly head and shoulders a better football team than Texas A&M. But turnovers level the playing field, and that's exactly what Quinn Ewers did. And if he does that against Clemson, they may still win the game, but they're going to have to fight their butts off to get it done. Their quarterback for Clemson is good, and I mentioned that. If you haven't heard that story, Klubnik and Ewers played each other in a state championship game. Quinn Ewers had gaudy numbers, but he also had 3 turnovers. And guess what? They got beat in the state championship game by Klubnik. The same thing could happen tomorrow afternoon if Quinn Ewers throws the ball to the wrong colored jersey. It could very well happen. And I just, again, nothing against Quinn Ewers personally. I just don't see him as an NFL quarterback. I've got AD on our YouTube channel saying he'll end up like Colt McCoy. If he ends up like Colt McCoy, I must say that wouldn't be a bad thing for Quinn. Colt made a lot of money as a backup quarterback. And hey, look, when Colt got in games when he had to fill in, I think he played fine. He was nothing special and could never stick as a starting quarterback. But I think you're right, AD. I think you're absolutely right. Quinn Ewers, I just don't see any NFL team saying, we want that guy to lead our program, to be our quarterback, our number one guy. Not when you're talking about a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward or somebody like that. Those guys are expected to go in and be the starter. Those guys are expected to go in and make a difference. I don't see anybody in the NFL right now that would look at Quinn Ewers and say, there's our guy. He's our guy. He's the guy that we can see being our quarterback for the next 10 years and winning 2 or 3 Super Bowls. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And the loyalty that Steve Sarkisian has to Quinn Ewers, for whatever reason, and maybe it's a deal he made with the Mannings, you know, that let this guy sit. We play him all the time, and, you know, he's got to wait his turn. I don't know, because I know some of that is happening or has happened at Texas when it comes to the Manning family. They're okay with how things are going. But if you're Arch Manning, you're ready. And would somebody please stop telling me that, well, Arch just isn't ready? When is he going to be ready? I mean, how many years is it going to take before Arch is ready? Well, what leads you to believe he's going to be ready next year? So all of a sudden the calendar turns to 2025 and Arch Manning, all of a sudden, wow, that's all we needed. He's ready. I hate that argument. It's a dumb argument. Arch Manning, if he's not ready now, will he ever be ready? That to me is just the dumbest argument I've ever heard. Archie just isn't ready. Quinn has got to be the guy. Arch is ready. Arch is ready. And I know he's made some mistakes against Georgia. Georgia's got a pretty good defense. Quinn Ewers made mistakes against Georgia too. I just think if you start this kid and he's preparing as the starter, it makes all the difference in the world, as opposed to a guy walking into a game after sitting on the bench for 2 or 3 quarters. To expect him to go in there and shine, especially against a defense like the Georgia Bulldogs. So I don't buy the argument. I think Arch Manning, it's time at Texas. And it's not because I say so, but it's because Quinn Ewers says so. He just hasn't played up to the ability. And Texas, again, got lucky as hell with the schedule they've had. The schedule, the regular season schedule, played out perfectly for Texas. If Texas is ever going to win a national championship, it's got to be this year, because their schedule is going to be tougher next year in the SEC. It has to be. It can't be any weaker than it was. And the path now that they have in the college football playoffs is about as easy as it gets, until they have to play somebody in the semifinals and finals. Then it's going to make a difference. Arch is ready. He's ready. He is. And again, Danny Kanell, when he joined us here a few minutes ago, talked about maybe Quinn's still not healthy. But that's a problem all in itself. The kid can't stay healthy. Unlucky, not his fault, but he just can't stay healthy. And look, 90% of being a star in any league is availability, is it not? And if you're not available, well, guess what? People forget about you, and they forget about you really quick. But Sark is loyal to Quinn Ewers. So Quinn will be under center. He'll hand the football off. Texas will have 100-plus, 200 yards rushing against Clemson tomorrow afternoon. They'll win that football game, and then, well, all of a sudden now Quinn will be the hero again. I think Bob Flores on our YouTube page is messing with me. He says, Joe, is Arch ready? That's funny, Bob. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Very funny. All right. Thanks for the rant. I needed that, and I appreciate that. There are no hurt feelings. This is not Pee Wee League flag football where you're going to hurt little Johnny's feelings. All right? This is big-time college football. All right? If you hurt Quinn's feelings, so what? That's the way it goes. Rub some dirt on it. Let's go. And if I'm wrong about Arch Manning, we'll find that out. We'll find it out really soon. And if you're right about him, if he's not ready, we'd find that out pretty quick. I think he's ready. I just believe he's ready. He's more mobile than Quinn. He's got an arm better than Quinn's. And I just think he is ready to go. But don't expect to see it unless something happens to Quinn Ewers, because Sark's just not going to do it. Whether it's this game, the next game, or however many more games Texas has to play, he's not going to do it. All right, thanks for the rant. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate it. I really appreciate all of you spending some time with us here on the Blitz today. A lot of fun. We still got a lot more to get into, including, have you heard the comments from Dan Graziano? ESPN's Dan Graziano. I agree with him. He takes a shot at one of the old quarterbacks in the NFL. He just happens to play for the New York Jets. We'll hear from Dan. And we'll talk about some gifts that have been given to offensive linemen from quarterbacks in the NFL. All of that and a lot more. We continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
What's that?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that? Call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential, and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws a block, and his teammate scores instead. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements, in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Big news! Rob Schmidt just beat CNN in the ratings. Yeah, it's true. Newsmax's #1 host, Rob Schmidt, just had a bigger audience than CNN during any hour of the day. That really is big. Millions of Americans like you are making the switch to Newsmax. They're getting the real facts. No BS and no spin, just the truth. Even President Trump says he's watching Newsmax. You should too. Rob Schmidt and Newsmax are on all major cable systems. YouTube TV just added us. If your system doesn't carry Newsmax, just call them and cancel. Go to getnewsmax.com and we'll help you find a new carrier. 40 million Americans watch Newsmax. Find out why. Go to getnewsmax.com and start watching. Newsmax is real news for real people like you.
If you haven't started celebrating Pixmas, you haven't started celebrating. Start today on PrizePicks because it's Pixmas time, and man, oh man, it's time for a shot at 1,000 times your cash. That's right, you got a shot for 1,000 times your cash. You can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Merry Pixmas! Head over to PrizePicks, use what you know, and win up to 1,000 times your cash. I can't say it enough. That's PrizePicks. Head over today, pick your favorites. Before you know it, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. It's so easy to play. You've been a fantasy player for years. Now put it to use. PrizePicks puts your knowledge to work. Just a couple of clicks away, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Remember that code ALAMO for free money. That's PrizePicks. Head over today, join the millions, download the app, and win up to 1,000 times your money. Easy to do. Download the app today and use the code ALAMO. PrizePicks. Run your game.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
We got a couple of pro football games tomorrow right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Actually, they're on ESPN AM 1250 tomorrow, including the Houston Texans in Kansas City. All of that gets started at 11:30. On 94.1, we got college football playoffs, and it starts tonight. Number 10 Indiana travels to Notre Dame to battle the 7th-ranked Irish. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's where you can hear it at 6:30.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Howdy, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix taking some time off, spending some time with family over this holiday season, Christmas season. It's hard to believe it is Friday and that Christmas is just on Wednesday next week. Unbelievable. Man, where did the time fly? It's been a busy December for us here at San Antonio Sports Star. And, man, time just flew. Edwin Hafner is producing the show today. Edwin, how you doing? You doing all right?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Doing a good job. Playing some good music, all of that kind of stuff. You're going to be surprised, Edwin. When I left here a few minutes ago to fill up my water jug and use the facility, there's somebody in the building. I saw somebody in an office.
Oh, I was going to say Don Cooper.
No, it wasn't Don Cooper. It was somebody else in an office and then talking on the phone, and so there is somebody else here. I say that just to let all of you in on it. This is a ghost town around the radio ranch today, and I have a feeling it's going to be that way all next week and probably the week after that. So, which is fine. Everybody taking some time off and spending some time with family and friends and enjoying the holiday season. But, man, when I walked in here today, I kind of creep in the building, and it's like, man, there's nobody here. All the lights were off. There's nobody talking on the phones in the sales department. And it was just like, man, it was really, like, creepy. It was kind of creepy. If you've never been to the radio station, I know a lot of you haven't. You know, I first started here, 1994. I started at doing radio here for KTSA, and at that time, KTFM, which was a top 40 kind of station, Drex in the morning. I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember that or not, but I was, so I'd go back and forth. There were the only 2 radio stations in the building at that time. Now we have like 7, I think, that are in here, including KTSA, by the way. And we're KTFM, technically, here, San Antonio Sports Star. That's the signal that we took over, so it's kind of cool to be back on that radio station. But the building hasn't changed a bit. There's more studios, but as far as, I don't know, kind of the color scheme and the walls and the carpet and all of that, it really hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot. But it's fine. It's good to be back here. You know, it's kind of cool to come back to a place where you started I didn't start my broadcast career here, but this was my first, I guess, big-time job. I started in New Braunfels at KGNB Radio, and so this was kind of my first time when I got hired here. I was hired here to do traffic. I was doing traffic reports, and then we did a sports talk show back then with a guy by the name of Russell Scott and Mark Allen. It was called Sports Call, and it was on at 6 o'clock at night, and it was like a 30-minute show. So, but it was funny. It was fun, and I filled in for that. And then 3 years later, I got a job at Kins TV and stayed 25 years over there at Channel 5. So it's been a great career. Back where I started now, so it's kind of cool to be here. And so I appreciate all of y'all listening today. I know you got a lot to do. It's a busy Friday with Christmas coming up next week. So thanks for listening, whether you're in your car listening or whether I don't know, whether you're listening on YouTube or any of the apps that you have. Appreciate you spending some time with us today. I hope everybody has a really Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all of that kind of stuff, and that everybody's happy and you get to spend some time with family and friends. But even though it's the holiday season, doesn't mean that everybody is, nice to everybody. ESPN's Dan Graziano, who is pretty plugged in, he was on the air this morning, and he was talking about Aaron Rodgers, with the quarterback of the New York Jets. Well, I've been a critic of Aaron, not so much of what he did earlier, but I think if you've listened to the show at any point in time, and even if you haven't, I'm always one of those guys. I'm not a fan of athletes staying too long. I don't want to see the athletes that perform so well then kind of fall off a cliff. I say that about Tiger Woods, and it's unfortunate what happened with Tiger, but I don't want to see Tiger shoot 80. All right, I want Tiger to dominate. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback, multiple MVP awards. I want to see that version of Aaron Rodgers, not the version we're seeing with the New York Jets, because he's lost it. I mean, he really has. I know he had a pretty good game last week, but, I mean, the guy's not the same. And if you tell me he is, you're fooling yourself. He's just not the same, okay? So, and I'd like to see him just ride off into the sunset. Guys made plenty of money. I don't think money's an issue, but these guys, some of them, it's hard to leave the game. It's something you've been doing your entire life, and I get that. Well, Dan Graziano had a very stern commentary when it comes to one Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is a con artist. He is a narcissist. He is self-absorbed to the absolute maximum. And if he has you fooled again, that's on you. If the Jets go back to Aaron Rodgers next year, they deserve what they get, and it will not be good. Like, they know this. They've lived it for the last 2 years. Like, this is not the answer. If some team wants to do that, too bad for them. But if the team that it just happened to wants it to happen to them again, then there's no fixing that. That's just dumb.
I could not agree more with that statement. But the Jets are the Jets, and they're going to jet because that's what they do. When the owner, listens to his kid on what kind of guy has Madden ratings to make a decision on whether you want to trade for somebody, that's pretty bad. So, look, the Jets have to do something, and they've had some bad luck. Maybe not as bad as the Cleveland Browns when it comes to quarterbacks, but they've had some bad luck. And they all thought that Aaron Rodgers would come in and save the day and maybe make a statement, because you look at a Brett Favre before him do the same thing, and he had some pretty good years with the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Jets after he left Green Bay. Then you look at Tom Brady, who obviously won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after leaving the New England Patriots. So we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. I'd be shocked if he plays next year, because I'm not sure who would give him an opportunity, especially as a starting quarterback. Maybe somebody will, but I'll be shocked if he's playing in the NFL, and certainly shocked if he is a New York Jet next year. They've got to move on from that guy. Well, speaking of quarterbacks that are going to be playing next year, guys like Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy, they're giving presents and gifts to their offensive linemen. We did the story yesterday, Jason and I, that Patrick Mahomes was left carts of Yeti ice chests and shoes and all kinds of stuff for all his offensive linemen for Christmas. Joe Burrow did something a little bit different. There's an article on TMZ that I read, and I thought it was interesting. Joe Burrow, and I'm not sure how the linemen reacted to this because there was no video of it, but he presented each of his offensive linemen a rare Japanese sword. And I can only imagine that these swords are probably very expensive, and they're beautiful. I saw a picture of one of them, but a Japanese sword. I don't know. Joe Burrow's kind of a weird dude. Cocky guy. I love that about him. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. But swords for all of his offensive linemen. And I'm sure they're very pricey and probably a great gift. But I'm not sure if I could contain my excitement if I was his offensive lineman, he gave me a Japanese sword. But maybe they can sell it or do something with it and so on and so forth. That's what he wanted to give him, so that's what he did. Brock Purdy, who has not been paid yet, making less than $1 million a year, mind you. Well, he gave his offensive lineman something a hell of a lot more than Joe Burrow.
All right, so we got 5 Sequoias, 5 Tundras. You guys can check them out, but these are yours. So, Merry Christmas.
That, brother. Oh my God.
It is tough, yeah, brother. Merry Christmas, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for all y'all do. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do. Merry Christmas, bro. Nah, dude. Wanted to. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Merry Christmas. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir.
Happy holiday.
Brock Purdy came through. Y'all see Toyota?
I gotta see the inside.
He came through. Absolutely. He came through. Did 5 Sequoias and what did he say, 5 Tundras that he gave his offensive linemen? It's funny because the way that video began, all the linemen were sitting in a meeting room. And Brock Purdy went in there and he said, hey, guys, I got you something. You need to come outside with me. And so these guys were just thrilled, obviously. So I'm not sure. And maybe the Japanese sword is more expensive than the Sequoia. But wouldn't you be a little more excited about a Sequoia than a Japanese sword that you're going to hang on your mantle above your fireplace? I don't know. I probably would be. But, hey, it's the thought that counts, right, Joe Burrow? That's the way that it is. Brock Purdy. That had to be a deal from some Toyota dealership, right? I mean, you would think because he makes $800,000 a year. I know it's a lot of money for all of us listening, or for most of us listening. There may be others out there that do better than that. But, I mean, he's not making the millions that Joe Burrow's making or Patrick Mahomes is making. But yet, Brock Purdy wins the offensive lineman Christmas gift.
And their offensive line's not great, really.
It's not at all.
The Niners' offensive line's not good.
No, it's
outside
not.
of Trent Williams. So
well, and he's not going to play this weekend, so he's been banged up a little bit. Interesting. Brock Purdy's a winner for that. So I hope, and he needs some good offensive line protection. So I hope, and when they go down to Miami this weekend, that they'll protect him a little bit better. He needs the extra protection. Don't know if you guys remember, but it was, let's see, what's today? Friday. I think it was Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins wide receiver, sent out a cryptic tweet that simply said, "Time to go, coach." And that's all it said. So we were all speculating, was that, hey, Tyreek, is it time to go, coach? Do you want to get traded? Or is it time to go, coach? As in, help out your teammates. Well, today, Tyreek explained what he meant by that tweet.
Y'all know it's crazy, bro. I just be like looking at stuff and then like I just tweet. You know what I'm saying? Like no like grammar. Like I be needing some grammar corrections and everything else. But what I meant was like when I say it's time for me to go coach, meaning that like when you see guys like Teddy Bridgewater, when you see guys like Michael Vick getting these head coaching jobs, it's like, bro, like I want to be a coach also when I'm done playing. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I meant by it. I ain't meant by like I want to get traded or I want to leave Miami. Like I'm in a great situation here. Like, I love the guys here. I love this organization. They obviously changed me and my family's life. You know what I'm saying? Forever. So I'm in a great spot, man. I'm happy. I wish we were playing better ball, but at the end of the day, like I feel like when I tweet something, it's not always about football. It's about seeing these other guys, succeed in other areas like Deion Sanders and stuff like that. So
interesting. So he wants to be a coach when he finishes playing football. It's kind of a weird tweet, though, Tyreek, to do that. You get everybody all worked up, especially all the folks there in Miami. But I'm glad he clarified that. So how interesting is that going to be with Tyreek Hill as a coach when he retires? Interesting. He's got enough kids. He could probably form his own football team. I mean, just round them all up and say, hey, we're going to go play football. Tyreek. Well, good for him. Glad he did that. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, there has been some Dallas Cowboys slander from a Detroit Lion. We'll tell you what happened and the response from one Micah Parsons. That is coming up when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Before I go, though, I want to tell you about Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. They're incredible. Got one in my house. And I'll be honest with you, and I've told you this before, but I'll be honest with you. It amazes me how good this thing is. I've had other water softeners in houses that I've lived in, but this Connecticut Quality Water Softener is just head and shoulders above everything that I've had. It is amazing the difference that it makes. It is the most popular water softener on the market, and they've been serving San Antonio and South Texas for over 50 years. They know what they're doing. They do it right, and you got to have a water softener. And so as long as you're going to have one, you might as well have the best. What I love about this thing is you don't plug it in. It doesn't run on electricity, so you don't have those problems that you would have with a water softener that you've got to plug in. This one runs on kinetic energy, and it provides soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it is a game changer, whether it's your body you're washing, your dishes, your clothes, all of that stuff. You just feel better. I feel better getting out of the shower than I ever have before. And right now, the fine folks at Connecticut have got a heck of a deal for you. In fact, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Connecticut Quality Water Softener, you're going to get a reverse osmosis drinking station installed at your kitchen sink, absolutely free. This thing is fantastic. Purified water right there at your kitchen sink. You don't have to buy bottled water ever again because you've got purified water right there at your sink. But keep in mind, it is for a limited time, so you don't want to wait. Look, financing is available, and Connecticut also has a rental program. They've got different options for you, so the best thing to do is give them a call and find out everything that they can do for you. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And hey, you know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
South Texas College. Wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
Rock's Discount Vitamins wants to wish you and yours a very happy holidays and a healthy new year. Right now through Christmas, receive a free $10 gift card for yourself with a $50 Rock's card purchase, or a free $20 gift card with a $100 Rock's card purchase. Losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy, let Rock's get you ready for the new year. With 12 area locations, find one nearest you at rocksdiscount.com. Rock's thanks God and you for all the support.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20. The Cowboys take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home.
Let's dominate today. I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is all cooking. You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Blitz with Jason.
Who is that, Edwin? Do you know? Unless it said it right there.
No, I probably, because I know some of their songs. So.
All right.
I'm not like Pledge when it comes to Blink-182, because that's his band.
That's his band, huh?
Yeah.
And Minix knows everything about every band, including Flogging Molly. He even knew about her or them. Flogging Molly. Yeah, he was saying that out loud when we were at Chicken and Pickle last night. Had kids running around. I'm like, Minix, shh. Flogging Molly. Oh, my goodness. Hi, everybody. This is The Blitz. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix, well, he's taking some time off to spend some time with his family during this Christmas season, so well-deserved for him. We'll carry on. Edwin Hafner is producing the show today. We appreciate Edwin. I'm Joe Reinagel, and glad that you're here. We really appreciate you being here and spending some time with us on this Friday, which is a cool Friday because Christmas is next week. So I'm assuming this weekend might be a pretty busy time when it comes to, I don't know, stores, malls, La Cantera, the Rim, all of those places. Probably be, I would assume, pretty busy this weekend. Last minute. I'm a last minute guy, unfortunately. And I don't mean to be, and I always regret it, but it always happens. Always happens. If I'm not in the mall or somewhere on Christmas Eve, then it's just not Christmas time, because I always procrastinate with some things and have to kind of make my way out and take care of a few last-minute gifts. So you'll probably see me running around somewhere on Christmas Eve and buying stuff. Just say hello. Be nice. Be okay. It's a great time of year. Love it. All kinds of stuff happening. Obviously, the college football playoffs start tonight. Indiana at Notre Dame. Going to be interesting to see that. A game that actually counts and means something, and it's going to be so much fun. Then we've got NFL football, obviously, all week. The Dallas Cowboys don't play until Sunday night at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But there's been some Cowboy slander. And it's interesting, and it's not just from me or fans. This comes from another NFL player. Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back for the Detroit Lions. AD says Loggin' Molly. Did I say Loggin' Molly or Floggin' Molly? And I was trying to do something there. I was going to we have tickets to give away to this. And so I was going to do that. So I might as well do that, huh, Edwin? You ready for that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we've got a pair of tickets to go see Floggin' Molly. And I was not prepared for this, so bear with me. It's coming up here pretty soon, I believe. If I can find it in my notes. This is where you bail me out, Edwin. Just saying.
March 9th, 2025.
There you go, March 9th.
At the Aztec Theater.
At the Aztec Theater. See, that's why he's
Road to Rebellion tour.
Hell of a producer, and it's Floggin' Molly. Floggin' Molly. Thanks for bailing me out there. Why don't we say caller number 9 at 656 3776 656 ESPN. Caller number 9, you're going to win a pair of tickets to Floggin' Molly in March. What was the date on that?
March 9th.
March 9th. There you go. So that day you've got plans if you win these tickets. If you don't win them, you can always buy them. But call in now. 9th caller is going to win those tickets. Again, 656-3776, 656 ESPN. Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back for the Detroit Lions, had something to say about his draft status. He was talking with Kate Adams on her show, and Jahmyr, there was one team he really didn't want to go play for.
I said I just didn't want to go to a team up north. That's the only thing I said.
At least you got a dome. God gave you half your little Christmas wish.
Yeah, but I'm happy I came here though. So, I mean,
yeah, I would say can you imagine playing anywhere else? Like, no way.
No, I said that. I was like, because the Cowboys don't get me too. I got 24. And then I was like, imagine if I was a Cowboy right now. I'd be so sick. Like, I'd be hot.
That's a great bite. I love that.
Now, look, before everybody, Cowboy fan, get on Jahmyr, I think he's right. He's with the Detroit Lions. They've lost 2 games. They are right now, as we sit, the number 1 seed in the NFC. So he's going to the playoffs, regardless of what happens the final games of the season. He's going to the playoffs. If you're with the Dallas Cowboys right now, you're not going to the playoffs. And so I think that's what he meant, right? He's not just being with Dallas. I don't know. We'll have to ask him at some point in time. Well, Micah Parsons responded to that, and I learned a thing or two earlier in the show when we talked about this. Micah Parsons tweeted, quote, "This is the biggest cap in America." Now, I've learned that means lie, basically. I guess with you kids today, that means lie, cap.
Look at the blue cap, on Twitter. Like you put like a picture of a blue cap, that's what it means.
So and the translation is it's a lie, is what I've been told. And Edwin, you're a young dude, and I was surprised you didn't know that.
Well, I'm not big on social media, but
Okay.
I knew the blue cap. There's a lot of, like, sometimes you don't agree with something or you think it's a lie. Just put the blue cap on there. So,
Well, I'm not really sure what Micah means by that, and I mean that in all sincerity. What's the lie that?
it's not great to be a Cowboy.
Well, yeah, but I'd have to ask Jameer what he meant. Anyway, Micah taking up for the Dallas Cowboys, which is good. But look, I'm not going to get on Micah for that because I got a newfound respect for Micah Parsons. While I think sometimes he's a knucklehead, especially with some of the comments that he makes, his responses to some questions about his contract and what will be negotiations with the Dallas Cowboys coming up have really I really have a newfound respect to him. He has said this. This is the second time he said this. He does not have to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, I think I'm the best player in the world. Like, I don't throw numbers out there like that. I'll see what they're willing to give me.
Okay, so I know you recorded a couple weeks ago said you didn't have to be the highest paid.
No, I don't. It would just be nice to be surrounded by good players. You know what I mean? Players that's going to help you win championships. I say that. To me, having, $40 million and chipped every play and slid to with 3-4 people, I don't think that sounds too fun to me. Okay. So, to me, it's about people that can keep making a difference. And obviously, we're going to get Sam back and we're going to get some of them players back. So we'll see how it breaks down. But I want to keep as many guys as possible.
Now, see, I like that. He wants to win. But that comment about, getting chipped and making $40 million wouldn't be that much fun. Mike, I don't know. I think it might be fun. I'm just spitballing out there, but somebody can chip me a couple of times and pay me $40 million. I'll be okay with that. But Micah, he wants to win, and that's the respect that I have for him. He's not stupid. He can look around that locker room and know that the injuries that they've had and the players that they currently have, and he knows that that's not good enough. This team as constructed right now is not good enough to even make the playoffs, much less win a championship. So Micah wants to take a hometown-friendly deal and have the Cowboys go out and improve this team. Now, we talked about this yesterday, Jason and I, and look, you've got to get an assurance if you're going to take a team-friendly deal. Then Jerry, you got to tell me that you're going to go out and spend that money and improve this ball club. I'm not just going to take a team-friendly deal and you not do anything with that extra money that I've gifted you. So, and that I understand, but the team needs to improve in so many areas. That's for sure. Stephen Jones was on with us yesterday, and we asked him about Micah's comments, not once, but twice, about not having to be the highest paid guy.
Well, I just, obviously nothing but respect for Micah, for CD, for Dak, and certainly, I think guys are understanding, especially after this year where it can be, there is a salary cap out there, and I know a lot of people say, well, you can push that money forward, which we've been doing for quite some time, but ultimately it catches up, and you have to make some tough decisions. But obviously our goal has been, since we knew we were going to be faced with paying three of the top players in the NFL, and Dak, CD, and Micah, our goal has been to get all three of them. And we think it's players like that help you win championships. And certainly feels great to know that Micah understands and knows that, it's important, and he's got to take care of his family and will for generations to come. But you also it's a good investment in your long-term future if we could somehow, get everybody who's on board right now, some Super Bowl trophy and some championship rings.
That would be really nice because it's been 30 years since that's happened. It's been a long time since the Cowboys have had celebrated a championship. Props to Micah if that turns out to be, who knows? You're talking to the media, and then you get behind closed doors in negotiations. Who knows what will happen there and what he will ask for? He says he won't hold out either, so that's obviously a good thing. But you look at this Cowboys team, and look, there's a lot of holes to fill right now. And there have been some young players that have stepped up and played. DeMarvion Overshown looked like a true stud. And a very major injury, a severe injury that he's going to have to recover from. Sam Williams, hurt again. He's going to have to recover. Another player that they were counting on. Trayvon Diggs, hurt again. How is he going to return? You look at these things, and I mean this in all sincerity, you lose those three guys for any amount of time, it's tough to replace. And I know everybody was disappointed with Overshown. I certainly was, because the guy was playing ball. I mean, he was truly playing ball. But you got to think about that. And I'll even take it a step further. Dak Prescott, another major leg injury. The first ankle injury really limited Dak's ability to move, to run. I mean, he stopped running after that ankle injury. And now you've got another major leg injury. What's that going to do to him? And you're on the hook with this guy for a lot of money. Interesting stuff, but stuff to watch and think about. So when people like me say, you might want to listen to calls for a guy like Micah Parsons, because that's your best asset right now. No, it achieves a couple of things. You don't have to pay him all that money. Somebody else is going to have to do that, and you're probably going to get at least a couple of first-round draft picks and maybe a player or two. I mean, he's that valuable, and I think unless you get something like that, you don't make the trade. But if somebody offers you that, I think you have to consider it seriously. And nobody's going to like that. No Cowboy fan's going to like that. But it may be what it takes to get this team back to prominence quicker than it would by signing Micah to a big contract and then having to fill in with guys that aren't making a lot of money. Again, Steven said it. I know people, poo-poo what he says, but that money has to be paid at some point in time. You can push it down the line only so far, and then that bill's going to come due at some point in time. So Dak, he could restructure his contract, find some money there. CD, maybe he could as well. There's some other guys that maybe could do the same thing, but eventually those bills are going to come due. If you're going to go all in, I'm all for it. Go all in. Win a championship and then rebuild. That's what the Rams did, and they're starting to come back. So it's going to be interesting to see, and it's going to be a hell of an offseason, that's for sure. First things first, though, the Cowboys taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Jerry World Sunday night. After all the other football is done, the cherry on top will be the Cowboys on Sunday night. So it's going to be a great weekend for football. There's no doubt about it. And it'd be a great weekend to head out to the Golf Club of Texas, because it's a great place to go watch football. It is. The Tin Cup out there, the restaurant is fantastic, and prices that don't break the bank. You got to love that. The drinks are cold, and they have specials as well. On Thursday nights, on Saturday, on Sunday, and Monday night, they have drink specials. They have food specials. It's just a great place to go. Gather up your buddies and head on out there, or your family for that matter. Head on out there and watch some football. But here's a pro tip, all right? The weather's going to be pretty good this weekend. It is. Why don't you get at golfclubtexas.com. Go to golfclubtexas.com. Book your tee time for this weekend. And do it early if you can, and then stick around and watch some football. A lot of college football action for you. The Texas Longhorns at 3 o'clock on tomorrow afternoon. So you can play a little golf and then sit around and have a few drinks and watch some football. It's a great place to do it. Look, it's the Golf Club of Texas. Not a private club. Certainly looks like one, though. Open to the public 7 days a week. And you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road, off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the Tin Cup or round with your buddies, your next tournament, go check them out. Again, best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The Morning Huddle.
You do like the vest?
I'm a big keep your core warm.
I don't believe in vests. I don't
Vests
think they
are
work.
Finest invention short of sleeves I've ever had.
No, I don't understand the vest. It is a nonsensical.
It is not. It
invention.
is. Once you go vest, you won't go back.
I'll never go vest.
There's a reason why all the cool kids have them.
I'll never go vest.
See, there you go.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hey guys, it's AJ from the Morning Huddle. Between us, when you hit a certain age, things start to feel a little off, right? You're tired all the time, your energy's low, maybe even your drive isn't what it used to be. And a lot of that comes down to testosterone, and trust me, it can happen to the best of us. That's where Game Day Men's Health comes in. They know how we feel, and they make it easy. Game Day Men's Health is over there on Bassey Road, across from the quarry. Their office has a relaxed man cave vibe, and they've built a 3-step process that's quick and designed just for us. First, get your T levels checked. Free testosterone test at their in-house lab. Then, you meet with a licensed provider to create a customized plan. And finally, you'll get those fast weekly treatments. After a month, you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, and a kick in your libido. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B. TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesome, T-I.
To know why.
Yes, I am.
I just got a notification, right? You're on your computer and you see these things that pop up. Well, this is from TMZ. And I'm like, why do I need to know this? And why do I care? Nick Cannon says Mariah Carey signing Rihanna's breast was hot. Okay? Why do I give a damn what Nick Cannon says or what he thinks is hot? Am I supposed to care about that, Edwin?
I mean, him and Tyreek Hill are battling out for who can have the most kids.
Well, I'm like, why does that pop up on my computer? Like, I give a damn.
Are you a subscriber to TMZ?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I look at that, but so TMZ always breaks all the news when it comes to celebrities and such. But why? I mean, do people actually give a damn what Nick Cannon thinks of Mariah Carey signing Rihanna's breast? I mean, it was hot, but I mean, I'm not out there tweeting about, hey, man, I think that was hot. Well, Nick Cannon, we need to care about what Nick Cannon thinks is hot. Holy cow. I see that just pop, and I'm like, what the hell? Okay. Well, everybody knows now, and I hope your day is made, that Nick Cannon thinks that that was hot. Mariah Carey signing Rihanna's breast. It was hot. We can all sleep well tonight because we know what Nick Cannon thinks. That's fantastic. Hi, everybody. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnick's taking a few days off, spend some time with family for the holidays. Edwin Hafner is producing this show today, and we appreciate you, Edwin. Nick Cannon has nothing to do with this show, and I'm not sure if he thinks this show is hot or not. We'll have to ask him one day. I'm not sure. Also got some news that I do care about from my friends at Ken's 5. This popped up, and it says, state agency grants UTSA demolition permit for relocation plans for the Institute of Texan Cultures. Well, obviously, that's a good thing. They're going to relocate the Institute of Texan Cultures, and that would clear that space for the new Wemby Dome, or whatever they're going to be calling it when it's built. New arena for the Spurs, because that's where they want to put it. So that's good news. I hear that, and I think, well, things are progressing pretty well. The Spurs are progressing pretty well as we speak right now. That's for sure. Big win last night over the Atlanta Hawks in overtime, and Victor Wembanyama was simply sensational, especially when the Spurs needed him. And that's what superstars do, right? When your team needs you the most, you step up and you take care of business. He did in the fourth quarter. At one point, I think he scored 11 straight points. So he did his job. That game goes into overtime, and the Spurs just stepped it up in overtime and kicked the Hawks behind. So that's a good thing. And I like what Wemby said after the game. I'll be honest with you. I'm a big fan of this. If you've listened to the show or if you haven't, I don't want to wait. And all I've been told is the Spurs can't skip steps. Well, they bring in Chris Paul this year, which is turning out to be a good thing. I mean, obviously, and you guys told me this. I was thinking, well, I wish he was here 5 years ago and could spend 5 years with the Spurs and really do something with his team. He only signed a one-year deal. So I don't know if that's going to be another one-year deal or what Chris Paul's plans are after this season, but he certainly has stepped up, and he is doing what he was brought here to do. He's teaching this team how to do things. Well, Victor Wembanyama, what I was impressed with after this game last night, he was asked, with the way the team is playing, they're one game over 500, and at times they look really good. Has the timeline changed, or do we still need to follow steps?
I mean, it's always been. I would say it's always been fast. And yeah, we have to be patient. Can't skip steps, but at the same time, can't take too much time to take a step. So I like how it's going now. I like the fact that everybody's going into games expecting to win it. You know, we're not expecting to. Anything else. So we're being held to some standards, and I think it's moving in the right direction for sure. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy or easy to see what to do.
No, it's not. But you keep playing the way you played last night, and I think this team will be just fine. Not only Wemby playing well, Devin Vassell back in the starting lineup. Stephon Castle has gone to the bench. which is no disrespect. Guy's a great player and leader right now from everything I see for Rookie of the Year, which would be kind of cool. But he's going to be a great player. But Devin Vassell has a chance and is, as we speak right now, one of the stars of this team. And he played like it last night. And he said that this team, as constructed right now, is learning how to win.
Each game, yes, for sure. CP definitely harps on it. Sometimes we'll have certain scouts and we'll talk about certain things, certain tendencies, to where he tells us it's like stuff that happens in the playoffs, and a lot of us don't have that type of experience. So it's just huge. Each game we're building, each game we're learning. Like HB said, it's all in the little details in the scouts of, if you don't want somebody to get to their right hand, if you know they're going to be crashing offensive glass, like whatever the case may be, we try to just take those little things away.
I find it interesting. I love Devin Vassell, and I think he can be a star. But he's a guy that has got to stay healthy. We talk about Quinn Ewers and we talk about other guys having to be available. Devin Vassell's got to be available as well. And I think if he is, he's a hell of a player. And I think he's a guy that you team him with Wemby, and who knows what might happen, plus adding some more pieces to that puzzle. Jeremy Sohan's another one that he's got to grow on me a little bit. He played well last night, and he does some special things as well. CP3, you heard Devin Vassell talking about him and what he is telling the players. And the one thing that he is preaching to these players is they can win, and they've got to know that.
I think Mitch said something great in the locker room about we don't have to save nothing. We got so many bodies, we can just rotate guys in or whatnot. So it's great to have Trey out there, to have Zach back, all these guys, man, because we just got such a young, vibrant team. Young, not me, but probably not Harrison too. But we have a really good team, and I just hope we understand that we can be really good. We don't have to wait till next year or the year after. Like, we need to be trying to win right now.
And think about that. Spurs moved a game over 500 with the win last night over the Hawks. And, of course, that does a couple of things. You want the Hawks to play poorly because the Spurs own their draft pick in 2025, unprotected, all right, draft pick. So you want them to do poorly. The problem with that is that they play in a horrible conference. The Eastern Conference is terrible. It's just not very good right now. So the Hawks, well, they're not very good. They're at 500 right now. They may do okay when it comes to the Eastern Conference. And right now, as we sit, the Hawks are in the 7th seed. They're at 14-14. So they'd be a playoff team, which obviously makes that draft pick not as good as if they were in the bottom half and out of the playoffs. Spurs sit in the 11th spot in the West at 14-13. They're just a half game behind Golden State, however, to get into that play-in portion of the tournament. And look, as they go, and obviously it's all about health, but as they go and continue to play the way they're playing, I don't think the play-in tournament, at the very least, is something that is not reachable. I mean, this team, how cool would that be? If this team got into the playoffs somehow, some way, even if it is the play-in portion of the postseason tournament, I think that would be fantastic. And, boy, you talk about a team that would, that's just valuable experience, right? And I hope they do it. They're right there on the outside looking in, but they're right there. And they've got Portland tomorrow night, a game they should win. The Trailblazers, well, not doing too good. They sit at 9-18 right now, and they are on the outside, way on the outside, looking in. One of the things that's been talked about in the NBA a lot lately is three-point shooting. And you heard Charles Barkley with a get-off-my-lawn rant. I get-off-my-lawn rant because the three-pointers are taking over. And quite frankly, for me anyway, it gets kind of boring. Now, if a team gets hot and they're making everything they throw up and all of that, yeah, that can be exciting. But that doesn't happen as much as the other. And look, I followed this team, from 97 on, all the championships. I was blessed to be able to be a part of all of that, at least coverage-wise. And so the way they played basketball back in those days was physical, tough basketball, pick-and-roll basketball, get inside, do all that. The three-pointer was there, but it wasn't the biggest part of the game. There were other things to do, and it just made it fun. You had a strategy. You had plays. You had things that you do. Now, you watch a game and you see back and forth, three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer. It's almost like playing in your driveway. So it's a little bit different. And look, we heard from Charles Barkley yesterday talking about he's not a big fan of that. There's a current player in the NBA right now that's not a big fan of it. LeBron James.
We got to do something. Obviously, the last couple of years have not been a great All-Star game that Sunday night. But I mean, listen, it's a bigger conversation. It's not just the All-Star game. It's our game in general. Our game is it's a lot of threes being shot. So it's a bigger conversation just the All-Star game.
They're not just regular threes. They're effing threes that are being shot. And I like what LeBron's saying. Obviously, he was asked a question about the new rules of the All-Star game. And if you haven't heard, it's going to be completely different this year. It's going to be 4 teams, 3 of them made up of All-Stars, 8 players each. And then the other one is the Rising Stars winners, first and second year players. And it's going to be games. The first team to 40 is going to win. It's going to be a tournament that whole day. One day, and they're going to determine a winner. So going to be interesting, but that's what LeBron was talking about first and foremost. But he's right. When you look at the NBA as a rule, and Adam Silver talked about this, the ratings are down. They're significantly down this year. There are a lot of reasons for that, and I just think November, December NBA basketball is behind the 8 ball when it comes to the NFL, college football, all of that stuff. So it's different. A lot of folks, a lot of NBA fans don't start watching until the calendar turns to January. So there are a lot of reasons for that. But I think the NBA is I don't know what the answer is. I heard somebody say the other day, you've only got a maximum number. You've got a maximum number of 3-point shots you can take in a game. I think that'd be very difficult to keep track of. And I'm not sure that I want that. But I would like to see a little bit of a mix between the 3-point shot and doing something inside. Wembanyama last night, did you see this? Off the backboard to himself, and he slams it home. The guy's incredible. I'd like to see more of that out of Victor Wembanyama. That would be a lot of fun. It certainly was last night, no doubt about it. Love to hear from you what you think about the NBA. Are you watching it right now, other than the San Antonio Spurs? I know there's a lot of Spurs fans out there. Are you watching anybody else? Are you just an NBA junkie and you want to watch? It's interesting because as it sits right now, I watch the Spurs for sure. But if I have a choice of watching football or Golden State take on, Philadelphia or Boston, I'm probably choosing football at this point in time. I love the NBA. Love it. But there's a time and a place for me. You may be different when it comes to that. You can tweet at me at Joe Reinagel 210. If you can comment on our YouTube page, if you're there, appreciate it. Like and subscribe our YouTube page. We would appreciate that. And you can also call in if you want to talk. You can do that. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. When we come back, it is time. Finally, we've been talking about it for a long time. College football playoffs begin tonight. Tomorrow, 3 games, including your Texas Longhorns taking on Clemson. Got some thoughts on that, and Georgia could be in trouble. All of that and a whole lot more when we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-10 with The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Friday night, December 27th at 9:30. The Aggies head to Sing Sing to take on the USC Trojans in the Las Vegas Bowl. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 8:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, it's that time of year you're going to have to be around your family, and you know what you need to get through these trying times is some dang good beer, and Karbach is providing that for you. Whether you're looking for something hoppy like the Hopadillo, the best IPA brewed in the state of Texas, something easy drinking like the Love Street, or a go-to all-around beer, for me at least anyway, is the Crawford Bock. They've got something for every taste and every occasion. Carbach makes a great gift as well. Put some Carbach under the tree for those hard-to-shop-for family members, and always bring some if you're going to have to be around the in-laws. That's just a given. Guys, follow them on the Instagram, on Twitter, to see what's going on with the brewery, what they've got cooking up. They always have concerts going on, and if you're in Houston, make sure you stop by, check out the restaurant. Fantastic food there. Wherever you're at in San Antonio or in the great state of Texas, you're going to be able to find some Carbach. Try it out. You'll thank me later.
Calling all of Cowboys Nation in San Antonio. It's time to gear up with the ultimate Dallas Cowboys apparel. Whether you're heading to the game or watching from home, the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop has you covered. From hoodies to hats, jerseys to jackets. Find all your Cowboys essentials at any of our 4 San Antonio locations. River Center, Ingram Mall, North Star Mall, and Huebner Oaks Shopping Center. We're open 7 days a week. Find the best selection of Cowboys gear and rep the star loud and proud.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
We all expect our home to protect everything we love. But here in Texas, we don't expect the ways water is breaking down our foundations and damaging our homes. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is shifting. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Foundation Support Specialists. Make sure your investment is protected. Get your free inspection at FoundationSupportSpecialists.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Houston Astros and free agent first baseman Christian Walker have agreed to a 3-year, $60 million contract. That's according to ESPN. They say that it does it's pending a physical, I should say. College football playoffs begin tonight. Number 10 Indiana travels to Notre Dame to battle the 7th-ranked Irish. Game you can hear right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It all begins at 6:30.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio.
It's everybody on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. My partner Jason Minix taking a few days off, spent some time with family. as we move into the Christmas week. I was going to say the Christmas season, but I think we've been in that for a while. But Christmas week is next week, so he's got some family coming into town, wants to spend some time with his family, so well-deserved, that's for sure. I hope you're going to be able to do the same thing. You're listening to us, and you got some family and friends for the Christmas week, which is next week, by the way, which is nuts. But we'll get through it. We got a lot to talk about. I'm Joe Reinagel. We got Edwin Hafner, who is running things. He's producing this show today. Appreciate him. And I think me and Edwin are about the only ones in the building. Everybody else is gone. It's a creepy building right now. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean it in a way that there's nobody here. All the lights are off. There's nobody here. It's a little creepy. I must say, you walk around here and it's very quiet. And there's nobody around. Usually you hear people talking on the phone, you hear other things going on, but right now, man, there's nobody here. It is a ghost town here at Alpha Media in San Antonio Sports Star. But that's okay because you guys are here, and that's all we want to do. And we're talking about college football. The playoffs begin tonight. That's a good thing. Indiana taking on Notre Dame. The line, depending on where you look, is 6.5 or 7 points. The weather's not going to be very good in South Bend, Indiana tonight, but I think both of these teams are probably used to that. It's going to be fun. But I tell you, the playoffs for me right now, and I look at college football, and I have to admit, I think this has been maybe the most exciting year of college football that I've seen. I mean, there have been some good games. There have been some upsets. There's been all of that, and a large reason for that is the transfer portal. But my worry is, especially with the timing of the transfer portal, because we're in the middle of it right now, and you've got teams that are the players that are transferring right now, while I don't know, their teams are in the playoffs. The Penn State backup quarterback entered the portal before this game against SMU tomorrow. So the timing of it is bad. And Jeff Traylor told us that you can't blame the kids for this. We're the ones that messed it up. And he's talking about administration and stuff because the timing of the portal is just, it's horrible. And it shouldn't be right now. There's got to be a fix to it. So I say that I'm excited, and I'm thrilled with that because of the excitement of college football right now, but I see a cliff if something is not fixed. And I mean that in all sincerity. I just don't think you can keep going with the way that we're going right now when it comes to the transfer portal and, quite frankly, the money that is being doled out and the money that is being demanded. That's a concern. All of these things have to be taken care of. We had Danny Kanell on earlier in the show, and he said that college football players right now, some of them, not all of them, but college football players right now have more power than NFL players. Think about that for a minute. And some of these college football players are being paid enormous amounts of money. I was talking to a guy last night, Zach Calzada. Now, I take this guy for his word because he's pretty plugged in. Left UIW to go to Kentucky for the round number of $1.2 million. Now, you blame Calzada? I don't. I mean, if you're going to make that kind of money, UIW can't pay Calzada that kind of money. I don't blame him. $1.2 million? Why not? It's tough. What do you guys think? Give us a call. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Let's go to the phone lines now. Javier wants to talk about the portal. Javier, welcome to the Blitz.
Thanks for having me on. You stole my thunder. I couldn't agree more with what you said. I think college football is my favorite sport, and I look forward to it every year. But I think the NIL and the timing of the transfer portal has just really damaged the whole game. I'm thinking about all these small schools, and I'm including UTSA now, that have to compete with the big schools in terms of money, which is totally unfair to them. And I hope somehow the powers that be come up with a solution to this, because it took a great game, a great part of American culture, and the money, here again, the money is what's ruined it. So that's my take on that.
All right, Javier, I appreciate the phone call. And you're right. I mean, look, I'm not opposed to players being paid. I think this should have happened a long time ago, and I will say it again. If the NCAA would have done its job and stopped being so ridiculous 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and given players a stipend, a salary, if you will, something back then, instead of getting people in trouble for buying them a Coke, because that was happening. If they would have just gotten off their butts and done something, it would have ended all of this. This wouldn't be a problem. And you pay them $1,000 a month or whatever the case may be. Because, look, with all the money that's happening, I mean, it's a wild, wild west. It is. I mean, that's the way it is. It's out of control. These coaches now, G.J. Kinney, on tape saying it's not about the school. It's not about relationships for a lot of these players. It's only about the money. And that's it. And there are schools like UTSA. We talked with Lisa Campos earlier. We're going to hear from her again coming up here in just a moment about how this new revenue share is going to work. And she did her best to explain it. And quite frankly, it's very confusing. But this is not the end of it. Texas Tech comes out and say they're going to dedicate $20 million to this thing. UTSA can't do that. So you're still not going to have a level playing field when it comes to schools. You're not. The Texases of the world, the Alabamas, the A&Ms, they're going to be able to pay a hell of a lot more than a UTSA is going to be able to pay, a UIW is going to be able to pay. And it's just not right. There's got to be a way to make it a level playing field. Look, the NFL example, and if we're just talking about college football, I'm okay with that. Let's move college football away from everything else and turn it into the NFL or a minor league NFL. Have salary caps, have trade deadlines, free agent periods, and let people negotiate. But you have a salary cap for every school that's the same for every school. You still have the problem, depending on the salary cap with the bigger schools. That's always going to happen. It's always been that way. But it would make the playing field a lot more level than it is now. And I think we've come to a point in time where that's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at. And then, look, I'll even go a step further. Why make football players go to school? What's the point? There's going to be some that are going to want to go to school. There's going to be some that don't want to go to school. Why make them? I've always been a big proponent because, I don't know, in my mind, call me crazy, you're giving a kid, I don't know, $200,000 worth of college education, and that's not enough? I don't know. I always thought it was. With a stipend, a cash stipend of some sort to get you through. Because if you're a football player, and I'm sure this is other sports as well, you don't have time to get a job. So you kind of like to be able to eat. Maybe take somebody on a date. I don't know, go to the movies, whatever. They don't have the money for that. Unless you're rich to begin with, and most folks aren't. I don't blame the kids at all. If somebody's going to offer me $1 million to go play football somewhere, I'm taking it. You're taking it. Everybody that's listening to me right now is going to take it. What I appreciate about the UTSA program is the fact that Jeff Traylor has convinced a lot of players who have been offered that type of money to stay at UTSA, or they want to stay at UTSA because of the culture that Jeff Traylor has created. But a lot of players are not that way. They're going to go to the highest bidder, and they're going to go year after year after year. You know, you can transfer, get in that portal all the time. Somebody treats you badly, get in the portal. So it's just a mess right now. And I as exciting as it's made college football, and it has, You got Vanderbilt playing SEC football now and beating teams. That's exciting to me. But I see a cliff coming. And it's going to get out of hand. And the kid's asking for $1 million now. 5 years from now, they're going to be asking for $3 million, $5 million, $10 million. Where does it end? You got to put a stop to it at some point in time. You're going to have to. And schools are going to pay that money because football is the front porch of every university. And the better your football team is, the more money you're going to make and the more publicity you're going to get. So we're chasing our tail with this thing, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But somebody's got to step up and fix this. And not only do they have to fix it, they're going to have to fix it nationwide. You can't allow states to break off by themselves. That's what started this whole fiasco. California did that, passed a law that kids could get paid in California. So naturally, kids from Texas or anywhere else in the states say, hey, well, I'm going to go play football in California. So the NCAA had no choice but to open it up to everybody with no foresight, no rules, no guardrails. That's what happened. That's what started this whole debacle. And it's only going to get worse. I know you guys, some of you think, guys, get off my lawn, guy, but it's only going to get worse. When money's involved, things happen, and most of the time they don't happen for a good reason. So it's an issue. And, well, we'll see what happens. This revenue share, I think, is a start, but it certainly is not going to fix the problem. You're going to have to have other things, a salary cap, a free agent period. I don't think that that's a bad idea. I think you got to have it. The other sports, I think, can take care of themselves because there's just not as many players, and it doesn't require as much money. But with football, the rules are going to have to be a little bit different. I believe it. I don't know how far away we are from that cliff, but I don't think we're as far away as we think we are. So the next few years are going to be interesting to watch and learn. But I am excited about the college football playoffs. I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait for them. We're going to talk to Lisa Campos when we come back. We talked to her earlier. I want to replay it for you because she said some interesting things and trying to explain how universities are going to have to go through this, and I think it's interesting. So if you didn't get a chance to hear it earlier in the show, I want to replay it for you coming up here in just a few minutes so you can hear what she had to say, and then we'll react to that and we'll talk about it when we come back. I do want to talk about Stevens Roofing, though, before we go to break because, well, I love talking about Stevens Roofing. Family-owned company, local company, and they're just really good folks who do really good work. You don't stay in business as long as Stevens Roofing has been in business if you're not doing it right. And you need a reliable roofer because, let's face it, your roof covers everything that you hold dear, including your family. And you want to make sure that it's done right. Stevens Roofing will do it right. They can do any kind of project, commercial project, metal roof. You want that on your house, they can do that. They're licensed by the city of San Antonio, and estimates are always free. All you have to do is give them a call. They'll come out and give you an estimate. 785-0994, 210-785-0994. And if you're like me and just about everybody else on the planet these days, you're looking to save a little bit of money, and you've been thinking about going solar, well, Stevens Roofing can help you out there as well. Solar panels are increasingly affordable. They often save you money on your monthly utility bills. They can add value to your home, and there are even options to keep the lights on if the grid goes down. That's important. I'm seeing reports all over the place that could very well happen sometime in January and February. You call Stevens today, get that taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. Stevens has a team of certified experts who will deliver solar solutions that are tailored to your specific needs. So for roofing or for solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing has your family covered. Give them a call, 210-785-0994.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smokey Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
America's Diamond has never sold lab-grown diamonds, and we warned our clients, friends, and neighbors that wholesale prices would crash to almost nothing. 2-carat GVS2 lab-grown diamonds are currently being traded at wholesale for $264, but some jewelers are still selling them online for $3,000 to $4,000. Repeat, wholesale $264, retail $3,000 to $4,000. Some retailers are selling 1-carat lab-grown diamonds for under $300, and others are giving them away for free with purchase. Lab-grown diamonds are very easy to detect with gemological equipment. Tens of millions of carats are produced in huge factories in China and India, using a tremendous amount of subsidized electricity supplied by coal-burning power plants. America's Diamond has only offered traditional, real, natural earth-grown diamonds that are rare, extremely beautiful, and have had real value for centuries. See our television program tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or right now at americasdiamond.com.
Rock's Discount Vitamins wants to wish you and yours a very happy holidays and a healthy new year. Right now through Christmas, receive a free $10 gift card for yourself with a $50 Rock's card purchase or a free $20 gift card with a $100 Rock's card purchase. Losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy, let Rock's get you ready for the new year. With 12 area locations, find one nearest you at rocksdiscount.com. Rock's thanks God and you for all the support.
Big news! Rob Schmidt just beat CNN in the ratings. Yeah, it's true. Newsmax's #1 host, Rob Schmidt, just had a bigger audience than CNN during any hour of the day. That really is big. Millions of Americans like you are making the switch to Newsmax. They're getting the real facts. No BS and no spin, just the truth. Even President Trump says he's watching Newsmax. You should too. Rob Schmidt and Newsmax are on all major cable systems. YouTube TV just added us. If your system doesn't carry Newsmax, just call them and cancel. Go to getnewsmax.com and we'll help you find a new carrier. 40 million Americans watch Newsmax. Find out why. Go to getnewsmax.com and start watching. Newsmax is real news for real people like you.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Monday's going to be a fun day when the UTSA Roadrunners hit the field against Coastal Carolina. And joining us right now on the Buyers Barricades guest line is the athletic director for the UTSA Roadrunners, Dr. Lisa Campos. Dr. Campos, thank you for joining us today and taking the time. I know you are out in the Carolinas, are you not?
I am looking out my window at a beautiful beach and ocean.
Okay, well, you don't have to make us all jealous. That's good, and very happy, and congratulations for the Roadrunners in another bowl game. And it should be an exciting one, although they could have made the time a little bit better, right? You got to get up early for this one.
We've had a few early ones this year, so I think our team's used to it. And they might prefer it because it's really hard to just sit around all day waiting for an evening game. So I guess there's pros and cons to both.
I guess so. It's not bad at all. By the way, we have that game here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on Monday morning. So keep it right here and listen to the Roadrunners take care of Coastal Carolina. Dr. Campos, I want to ask you, though, because there's been a lot of talk and a lot of confusion, quite frankly. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and maybe clarifying some of the questions that everybody has about this whole revenue share thing. I know you guys talked about it a little bit when you were breaking ground for the new race facility. By the way, congratulations for that as well. It's really kind of a weird thing, is it not? I mean, this looks like it's going to be a thing come this summer if all things go right. How do you operate and navigate the waters with this thing? Have you guys do you guys have a plan in place for that?
For sure. Well, first of all, thank you on the congratulations on the groundbreaking. That is something that we've been striving for a few years now. It was part of the plan when we built Race. And to have the other day come to fruition is just a testament to the support from the city, the county, all of our donors who've come together. Veronica Salazar on our executive team, the president's cabinet who's figured out a way to help us get that shovel in the ground. So that's a great day for UTSA athletics for sure. In regard to the rev share and the House settlement, you're right. It is very confusing. A lot of people don't really understand what all this means, right? Someone actually thought the House settlement has something to do with the House of Congress. House is actually the last name of one of the swimmers at Arizona State who started this lawsuit. So let's start there. But it's an opportunity. It still needs to be settled. I think every indication is that it will be settled. The timeline, they got till January 31st to opt into this. The class does. There's till January 31st for people to object to this. There is a swell of objections that are coming forward, so we'll see how the judge handles that. And then the final determination should happen April 7th, ironically, when we are hosting the men's Final Four championship game on that evening. So we'll know that morning maybe before that, maybe after that. But right now it's scheduled for April 7th. And then it takes effect July 1, 2025. So what does it mean? It means now universities can share in their revenue. And it's a little bit of a complex calculation how they came up with the amount that could be shared. But essentially they've looked at the last, I believe, 10 years of data of P5. They included the Pac-12 in this, but looked at certain categories of revenue, did an average and said 22%. Sounds like the right number to share. And everyone's projecting that will be about $20 million. I think you'll see a lot of the P4 schools get up to that $20 million rev share. I think you'll see a lot of schools like UTSA not get quite to that $20 million share. But that, and then how you share it is in several ways. You can share it through what's called Alston, which is an addition to their scholarships, which schools can currently do. There's also new roster limits in this settlement. So we've talked a lot about football, probably that it's going to go from 85 to 105. Baseball is going to be really affected. All sports are going to be affected in their roster limit. You can count any additional scholarships that you add to the program in that $20 million rev share, and then of course direct payment through NIL. The NCAA wants to figure out the market for NIL because we're all flying blind on this. So they are going to engage in a tax accounting firm that's going to help the whole, all Division I athletics figure out what the market is and monitor, making sure that there's more of a even playing field.
I tell you what, Lisa, it's going to be tough, and I don't envy you and everybody else there at UTSA and every other university in America trying to figure this thing out. When you talk about, by the way, we're visiting with Dr. Lisa Campos, the athletic director at UTSA. When you're talking about revenue share, what revenue are they talking about? And maybe that's a knucklehead question, Lisa, but I mean, is that from ticket sales? Is that what is it from?
Yeah, so again, I believe it was about 8 categories that they used, anywhere from, like you said, from the ticket sales to bowl revenue, if anyone's making any revenue on bowl games. But really, the source, as you can see, most institutions we're going to have to generate more revenue. And, right now, if not all of that revenue is already being used towards operations. So, I sat in a conference the other day, and from P4 ADs to G5 ADs, everyone's talking about a reallocation of resources. They're talking about more fundraising. They're talking about more sponsorships. They're talking about increasing ticket sales. Almost everybody is looking at how do we increase revenue to share with the student athletes while also operating your department at the level you need to operate it. So you're going to see a lot of different creative ways, a lot of monetizing of different things. Again, I think there's very few institutions that just have $20 million or athletic programs that have $20 million ready to just share. So again, it's going to be a reallocation of dollars. It's going to be increasing your revenue.
Yeah, and Lisa, when you look at it, and I know you've got a lot of sports, and naturally when we look at UTSA with the success of the football program, everybody looks at that, but there are other sports that are played at UTSA. Obviously, they say football's the front porch of this thing, so I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, that football will get the most of the allocated dollars. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I think that you see that nationally, even in obviously there's still going to be a Title IX component to that, but, there's a lot of attorneys working on this and trying to figure out what that looks like right now. I think people saw Kirby Holcutt come out with that, their numbers, so you see that the majority of that will go towards football, men's and women's basketball, and then the other sports. And everyone's going to be prioritizing their sports. And, I think if you look at UTSA over the last few years, we've heavily invested in football, to your point, that there's a return on that. And it's not always financial, but it's great for the university. It's, why we went to the American. It's higher visibility. It's more branding. It's attracting students to UTSA, attracting faculty to UTSA. So football definitely has the potential to do that, and it helps all other sports.
Dr. Lisa Campos, the athletic director at UTSA, joining us here on the Blitz. Lisa, I would assume that Jeff Traylor, every other coach is going to tell you, Dr. Campos, this is what we need. Have those conversations been had?
Absolutely. We've been gauging most of our coaches. Again, we're not going to be able to, I love the saying, you can't water every part of the grass at once. So we're not going to be able to do every sport, in year one, but we've been having conversations with the coaches that we want to continue to invest in, that we know are important to the department and the university. And so those conversations are always happening. And I can tell you, part of the NCAA, the reason they're doing the market valuation is so that we're not flying blind and we have more of an idea. But right now we're just guesstimating what's going to make us competitive, and our coaches have a number in mind that we're really driving towards.
And then what about NIL? If this thing comes to fruition, do they go away, or will they still be a part of what you do?
Yeah,
the collectives, I guess, is what I mean.
Yeah. With the settlement, now we can pay NIL directly to student athletes as an institution. We've heard all the way across the board that some of the collectives are going to close shop and let the universities handle it. We have a couple of really strong, or 3 really strong collectives here in San Antonio. So it's going to take a village. It's going to take everybody. So I know that they're going to continue to work in partnership with us. But that will be dealt differently with all institutions.
Lisa, it's bittersweet for me, and we talk about it on the show quite a bit, but when you're talking about, and we'll just use football as an example, college football is probably as exciting as it's been in a long time, and it's always been exciting. But I just see a cliff coming with some of this stuff, because every coach that you hear from across the country is talking about, we need more money. We need more money. All players care about now, a lot of them, not all of them, obviously, but is how much are you going to pay me? Do you see this as maybe a part of a solution that, but a long way to go, or how do you see this? This to me doesn't look like the final solution.
No, I agree with you. I think it's ever evolving. We still got to get through the House settlement. That's not even approved yet, Ray. So
Right.
It's going to forever be evolving. One of the great things, though, is that there have been more eyeballs on intercollegiate athletics than ever before, particularly football, some of the women's programs, women's basketball in particular. There are more eyeballs, and it could be because of the chaos going on. People are paying attention to it, but it continues to be a part of the university that brings everybody together, and that is not going away. We're going to figure out how to make this very fair for student athletes. They are not only getting a quality education at UTSA, but with the community support, they're going to be able to get some spending money in their pockets, and that's what it's truly about. Is you think about NIL opportunities and what it is teaching these student athletes. So unfortunately, it kind of got away from what was intended, and maybe someday it'll turn the tide and get back to what it's really for.
Well, I really hope so, and I hope you're right about that, because I think it has to be. We had an opportunity at the Army-Navy game to talk with Commissioner Pernetti, and are they going to put a floor on what the schools in the American Conference are going to be able to offer?
Yeah, a lot of conversation happening right now, not just in our conference and in other conferences, that there might be a minimum investment to be in a league, and those are conversations that are continuing to happen within our league. And, a ton of credit to Tim Pernetti. He's come in and has just thought and embraced what's happening, in this space. And he wants to do what will advance all of our institutions within the American Athletic Conference. So he is working very hard. He's thinking about all of this every day and really supporting our institutions.
Well, I tell you, Lisa, I really think the American Conference is a great spot for UTSA, and it's very competitive. A lot of good schools, and so I think that's where you guys belong. And it's exciting to see what the future holds for you guys. Lisa Campos, athletic director for UTSA. I'm going to let you get back to the beach and enjoy getting ready for a college football bowl game. Really appreciate you taking some time this afternoon.
Thanks so much. I hope I didn't confuse people more. It's a complex situation right now.
No question. I think you helped tremendously. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time at the bowl game.
Thanks so much. Take care.
All right, Lisa Campos, athletic director for UTSA, trying to explain what's going on, but a lot of moving parts to what's going on. That's pretty obvious. And how much money will UTSA be able to pay? It remains to be seen. Texas Tech has already come out saying they're going $20 million, and they've already priced it out. So UTSA can't do that, and a lot of schools won't be able to do that. But it's going to be interesting to see once this whole thing shakes out. April 7th is the big day, because that's when we're going to know if the lawsuit is over and they put in the rev share coming up. It's going to be interesting. We'll talk a lot more about it. I know that we will. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Prime Picks. Jason and Pledge have made their picks, so I get to go through all of these and tell them how dumb they are, because I'll probably pick against them. Just how dumb they are, Edwin. They're dumb. Sometimes they're not very good pickers. And then there's days when
I'm not surprised.
I'm not very good either. We'll do Prime Picks. We'll wrap things up for the weekend when we return right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the college football playoffs. We are down to 8. And the NFL, what a great weekend in football. The Cowboys, Bucks, we'll talk about that and all the other action. Party starts at 6. Don't miss it.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
GimmeTheVin.com salutes justice. On this day in 1989, under authorization of President George H.W. Bush, the U.S. launched a military invasion of Panama, focusing primarily on the removal of Panamanian leader Manuel Noriega. Listing your car for sale online can feel like you're being literally invaded with shady types and lowball hagglers. Just go to Gimme the VIN. We'll get you a fair offer fast. Just another reason they call us America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your eyes.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today. You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
It has been a great day here on the Blitz. So happy that you took some time to join us. Whatever you're doing, I know everybody's busy right now. A little last-minute Christmas shopping, getting ready for friends, family, whatever you're doing. Thanks for spending some time with us here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. My partner, Jason Minnick's taking a few days off to spend some time with his family. Edwin Hafner is producing the show today. What an interesting show that we've had. Lots to talk about, and I tell you what, lots to look forward to, including tonight. Don't forget, Indiana at Notre Dame. It's a game you can hear right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1. It's all going to get started with the pregame show coming up at 6:30. So you prepare for that. We've got all the college football playoff games right here on 94.1. The NFL games tomorrow will be on AM 1250. So if you're out and about and you have to do some shopping or get out and about, you don't have to miss any of the action. You can just tune us in here on 94.1. And don't forget Monday morning, 10 o'clock kickoff for the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We've got that for you here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star as well. UTSA taking on Coastal Carolina. So don't forget about that because, we're proud to have UTSA on our airways. Crystal clear FM signal, and you're going to be able to hear that without anywhere in the city of San Antonio and beyond, by the way. So we're happy about that. 10 o'clock Monday morning, they will kick off UTSA taking on Coastal Carolina in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. So a lot of football coming your way, certainly, but it will be right here. If you have to get out and about, you can listen to it. Won't miss any of the action. Well, despite the fact that Jason's not here, despite the fact that Pledge is not here, we're still going to do Prime Picks.
Prime Picks on the Blitz.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good week for one Joe Reinagel. Went 4-6 last week, but you got to keep in mind, I was behind, right? And I still am behind, even further behind now. So you got to take a few chances here and there. I did that, and it kind of bit me in the butt. Minix went 6-4 last week. So did Pledge. Minix is leading the pack at 105.55. Pledge is in at 101.59, and I'm bringing up the rear at 97.63. So you got to take a few chances, right? If you want to try and catch these guys, you got to pick against them. So we'll all start with the game that's coming up tonight, a good one. Notre Dame and Indiana. That ball game played in South Bend, the home of the Fighting Irish. And all of us are taking Notre Dame in this one. But I got to be honest with you, I was talking to Danny Kanell earlier. He joined us earlier here on the Blitz, and he kind of liked Indiana and said Indiana has a shot. Apparently the weather's going to be horrible, but we all three went with Notre Dame. Then tomorrow's college football playoff action. This one certainly everybody here in Texas looking forward to. Penn State taking on SMU. That one at Penn State. Again, the weather is supposed to be horrible. Jason is going with the Nittany Lions, as is Pledge. I got to take a shot, and I think SMU's got a shot in this game. I'm not sold on Penn State, even though it's there, even though I think Penn State's a little more physical than SMU will be, but maybe more athletes for the Mustangs. So I'm going with SMU. I'm going to stick my neck out and take the SMU Mustangs in that one and disagree with both Jason and Pledge. The best game of the weekend, I think, is Ohio State and Tennessee. That is tomorrow night. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night, and that's the reason it's there. It's the best matchup of the first round, I would say, absolutely. This ball game being played at Ohio State. Jason is going with the Ohio State folks. Pledge is taking Tennessee. I think this game's a toss-up, even though Ohio State's a 7-point favorite in this thing, which baffles me. I'm afraid that Ohio State's going to win the game outright, but they won't cover the spread. That's not what we do here. We pick winners, so that's what I have to do. I'm going with Tennessee. Going with the Volunteers to beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State still is shell-shocked after losing to Michigan, something they were not expected to do. Still shell-shocked. I'm going with Tennessee. The final playoff game tomorrow has the Texas Longhorns taking on Clemson. That ball game is in Austin. Texas a big favorite, 12-point favorite. All three of us are going to go with the Texas Longhorns. Hopefully Quinn Ewers won't have the turnover bug tomorrow. That would be nice. I mentioned the UTSA Coastal Carolina game Monday morning, Kind of weird. That game's at 10 o'clock kickoff in the morning. 10 o'clock kickoff. So right after the morning huddle Monday morning, we'll get you started with the Coastal Carolina Bowl, the Myrtle Beach Bowl is what it's called, Coastal Carolina and UTSA. All three of us taking UTSA. The Roadrunners a 7-point favorite in that one, and I think they'll get it done and end up with a winning record for the year. So I think that's fantastic. In the pros, tomorrow, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. It's a big game for both of those teams, especially, well, for both. It's really no one more important than the other. Big game, Baltimore-Pittsburgh, game in Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh's a fraud. I do. I think they're a fraud. So I'm taking Baltimore. I think the Ravens win that game, and I think they win it handily. Jason agrees with me, as does Pledge, all of us taking Baltimore. Boy, then you've got a game that I'm sure everybody's just going to be camped around the TV wanting to watch. The Atlanta Falcons taking on the New York Giants. Luckily for the Falcons, the Giants have pretty much thrown in the towel for the season. But the Falcons starting a rookie quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. How will he do against the Giants? That remains to be seen. He's going to go up against Drew Lock. I think Penix is a good player. I think he's NFL ready. And I think we're going to see that as they close out the season. And it's a huge game for the Falcons. They have to win it. Can't lose it. All three of us taking the Atlanta Falcons. Miami and San Francisco. Boy, what a weird game, right? Both of these teams disappointing this year, to say the least. San Francisco decimated by injury. They've just been clobbered by injury. Miami, when they lost Tua, they kind of lost their season, and they haven't recovered. And Tua did not look good last week at all. Tough game, long trip for San Francisco, but I'm taking the 49ers. Minix disagrees. He's going to go with the Miami Dolphins, but Pledge, he's a smart guy, and he's going to take San Francisco with me. So that's good. Texans-Chiefs tomorrow afternoon in Kansas City. I haven't seen a weather report for Kansas City yet, but I would have to believe it's going to be cold. Patrick Mahomes will play. He's been cleared, and he will play. How good will he be on that gimpy ankle? Minix likes him. He likes Kansas City. He's going to go with the Chiefs. Pledge and I are going to go with the Texans. I think the Texans, this game, look, even though they've wrapped up the division, I think it's important for them. They've got to get a win against a good AFC team. And look, let's face it, Kansas City has only lost one game this year. I can't imagine that they're going to finish the season that way. So I think the Texans get it done tomorrow, and they'll beat Kansas City on their own home field. And finally, Sunday night, the Cowboys taking on the Baker Mayfields, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks a 4.5-point favorite, and they're a team that has to win, especially if Atlanta wins earlier in the day. The Bucs are going to know that, and they're going to know that they need to win this football game. I think they will. Cowboys played well against Carolina last week, but I think Tampa Bay's a much different team. Tampa Bay's got a pretty good run defense. Their defensive line is pretty good, and I think they'll be able to shut down Rico Dowdle and force Cooper Rush to win the football game. Don't think he can do that. All three of us, including Jason Minix, taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Blasphemy, Minix. I can't believe he's doing that. I will give him credit. He's the only one that took the Cowboys last week against Carolina. So Pledge and I both went with the Carolina Panthers. We fell for that. We fell for that fraud in Carolina, but that's how it goes. So we'll see how I do. It looks like I'm probably going to go 10-0 this week, and I'll get right back in this thing because it's still early. Still early. By the way, if you haven't got your picks in, go to sasportstar.com, the Pro Football Challenge there. Get your picks in. Even if you missed last night, it's okay. You can get your picks in there, and you got a chance to win some great prizes. So get your picks in, all right? Alexandra, I hope you got your picks in the Pro Football Challenge, Pick'em Challenge, because I'm coming after you. I think I've already started well. I had the Chargers last night. So I'm 1-0. I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you had the Denver Broncos. And so I'm already one ahead of you. So that's what you need to do. Go get that done. Interesting. Renee G asked on our YouTube page, are we going to have extra innings with Edwin following the show? You're not doing a show, are you, Edwin?
No, I haven't done extra innings all week.
Okay, good. So, well, not good. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying. So what we're gonna is national until the pregame show starts. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. You just got 30 minutes to wait. We got the pregame show for the Indiana and Notre Dame game coming up for you at 6:30 here on Sports Star. So keep it tuned right here for that. Look, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I really do. I hope you have a great weekend and go out and get the shopping done and all of that kind of stuff. And then we'll chat again on Monday. Monday's going to be a big day. We're going to have all of this to react to. Plus, we're going to have we're planning some sort of a post-game show after that UTSA football game, bowl game against Coastal Carolina coming up on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. Trying to get Jeff Traylor to give us a call and talk with us before he gets on a plane and heads back to San Antonio. And hopefully they're in a celebratory mood after they finish that game. And I have every reason to believe that they will be. My goodness. I know Traylor, though, is going to be sad because, he's talking about all the seniors that he got to spend some extra time with since the Roadrunners actually made it to a bowl game, had to rally big time to get that done. And so he's going to be a little bit sad that those seniors are going to go away. But, that's the way it goes. And he's been in this business long enough to know. But hopefully they go out with a win, another bowl win. It'll be the second bowl win for UTSA. And so good luck to the UTSA Roadrunners. So much road to cover, however, before we get to that point in time on Monday morning with all the stuff that's happening beginning tonight. Transfer portal, NIL money, revenue sharing. Thanks to Lisa Campos for trying to explain that. And she did a good job. It's just that, schools like UTSA, that size, that don't have the money that some of the other schools have, it's going to be very difficult for them to try and find money, number one, and then how do you allocate it? It's still all about football, and it's got to be all about football, and Lisa knows that. She said as much during our interview earlier today. So that's it. No, and no offense, please, no offense to any of the other sports. Football and basketball are your money makers. Football way ahead of basketball even, and then all the rest. And look, football pays for those other schools. They do. All right, so it benefits. When your football team is good and they're making money, then all the other sports benefit. And that's just the way that it is. All the other sports benefit. So everyone should be hoping that the football team, number one, gets the money that they need to get good players in, and number two, win. Because when you're winning, you're making more money, and, it's just good for everybody. So we'll continue to follow that story for sure. Can't wait for tonight's football game. Can't wait for all weekend, and can't wait to get back here with you on Monday so we can react to all of this. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. It's been a pleasure being here today. Thank you all for joining me and spending some time with me. Have a great weekend, everybody.
You're riding with the Blitz.